Good afternoon. Happy New Year. My name is Richard. This is over and over and over again. It is Matchday Live, the very, very first match of 2025. It is Arsenal in action away at the GTEC Stadium against Brentford. This is going to be a good one. So come and join me. Let's see how it goes. So it is Arsenal versus Brentford, the very, very first match, of course, of 2025. We didn't lose a London derby in 2024, and we've got one to kick off the new year, and it's a difficult one as well. Brentford have one of the best home records in the Premier League. They've only lost one at home. That was, though, their last home game, of course, against Nottingham Forest a week or so ago. But of course, before we start, we do need to get into, of course, all the team news. So there's rumours of a few players missing for Arsenal. But so this is how we line up then today. In goal it is David Raya. The back four is Johan Timber, William Saliba, Gabriel and Ricardo Calafiori comes at left back. In midfield, it's Thomas Partey, Mikel Merino and Martin Ødegaard. And in the front three, Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, and his first Premier League start for Ethan Nwaneri. So he won't trust Miles Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri in the same side, maybe understandably so. But it is Ethan that gets the nod today in that front three. On the bench then for Arsenal is goalkeeper Nalberto Neto, there's Kieran Tierney, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Ismail Kabaya, Alexander Zinchenko, Jorginho, Jacob Kiwior, Declan Rice, and Leandro Trossard. A little bit of a lack of forwards on the bench for Arsenal, really. It's only Leandro Trossard and Ismail Kabia, of course, young player. That's our problem, as we know. For Brentford, then, this is how they line up. They've got a few players missing as well. It is Mark Fleckens in goal. Their back four is Mads Roslev, Seb Vandenberg, Nathan Collins and Keane Lewis Potter. In midfield, it is Vitaly Janelt, Christian Norgard, their captain, and Johan Yarmolenko. And in their front three, it's another Mikel Damsgaard, Brian Mbeumo and Johan Wissa. They've got a very good front two, haven't they? There's no doubt about that. Brentford, they're a good side. They are a very good side, particularly at home. This is going to be a very, very difficult game. I don't have much doubt about that. But there's no reason to suggest that we can't obviously win the game. We won our last three here at the GTEC Stadium without conceding a goal. That was, of course, after losing 2-0 here in the first game of the season a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Which was very, very disappointing. We've got Nathan with us. How you doing, Nathan? Happy New Year to you. He says, hi, Rich. Hope you had a nice Christmas. Yeah, it was all right, quiet. He's gone 2-1 to Arsenal. That'd be good. Get your predictions in nice and early. Neil's with us as well. He says, happy New Year, all. Let's see if Ethan can be the Saka answer. Well, he seems to be playing in his position. Most importantly, we need to win. Take advantage of Chelsea dropping points. For me, Martinelli needs to step up. He does, absolutely right. Of course he does. Griggs of us says, happy New Year to you, Rich, and all in the chat. But not to the decision makers at Arsenal. They're crap and undecided. Yeah, exactly. They are. Absolutely. They are. Terry says, dear my friend, happy New Year to you as well. He says, evening, Richard, happy New Year. Hats off to you. And Paul are going running this morning. Yeah, I mean, we was out last night. We got up early this morning to do a park run. I've just had a big roast dinner. So unless this game's exciting, I may well fall asleep. So I will apologise now. But anyway, we'll see. Terry says we need to shut out the home noise and put in a professional performance. Yeah, we do. Absolutely, we do. We haven't conceded. In 2024, we didn't concede more than 2 goals in any one game, which is pretty good going, actually. You know, not that it's brought us any trophies, but any successful team builds from the back. That's how George Graham did it. You don't concede goals. And then, okay, yes, we're not creating enough. I don't think we've got problems in the final third, especially without Saka in the team. But we've got the right base. We just need to add those attacking players. I say, looking on the bench today, Trossard and Cabio. Obviously, Cabio's never played in the first team, so that's all really attacking options that we've got. And that's not enough, is it? Going into a really important point of the season. There's obviously there's another big game at the weekend away at Brighton in the Premier League. We've got the first leg of the semi-final on next Tuesday. We've got the FA Cup third round against Manchester United next weekend. It's there's a lot of big games, and we don't have the attacking options. We just don't. And if we're going to challenge to win trophies, which is what we have to do this season, it's not enough. We can be as solid defensively as we like. We can be as solid defensively, brilliant, and that's great. And you have to praise the work that Mikel Arteta has done and the coaching staff have done on that aspect of the team, to improve that side of it. And it's, we're one of the best in Europe now defensively. But goals at the other end are what win your big games. Goals are what win your trophies. Goal scorers are what you need. And unfortunately, we don't have enough options up there still after 5 years of this manager, 5 years into this project. So let's see what happens in January. The transfer window is now officially open. Not that we're expected to make any signings today, because obviously we've got the match tonight. But it's going to be interesting, isn't it, to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. We need reinforcements. There's no doubt about that. We're in a good position in the Premier League. We're in a good position in the other cup competitions. We need to push this home now, don't we? We need to take advantage of the situation that we're in and go for it. And we will see, won't we? I mean, Greg mentioned it before about the owners of the club. Absolutely, they've failed. They have failed us. And this is their time to step up and say, look, this is a big chance now for us. This transfer window is a big opportunity for us to make the right signings, get the right bodies in now, so we can go. It's no good saying, let's wait till the summer. Yeah, we'll need more bodies in the summer, but we have to do something now. We're light in certain areas of the squad, massively light in the forward areas, and we're chasing 4 trophies still. And we're not going to win them unless we sort that issue out, and we sort it out in January. It needs to be someone who can come in straight away. Players who can come in, players that know the Premier League would be my options. They'd be my choice. Bring those sort of players in, and then I think that'll be enough to get us over the line. Certainly in at least one of the competitions, we have to win at least one of them, don't we? We have to. Come on. If we don't, then I hate to think what's going to happen, because we can't carry on failing when it comes to the big trophies. Coming second is all well and good. Coming in the top 4 is all well and good from a money perspective. But we're Arsenal. We need to be winning trophies. 5 years now. Got to happen. It's got to happen. Big January coming up. Big day today as well. Big game today. Absolutely it is. There's no question about that. Neil says, and Champions League, FA Cup coming soon and far. So defo life. Yeah, we are. Exactly. Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what we are. Terry says, let's hope we buy a new manager in January. Well, we're not going to do that, are we? I would like to see that myself, as you know. Terry said, Neil has a new job. Yeah, of course, Neil's got a new job, by the way, so I'm sure he's doing well. Neil says, it's very overwhelming, but I think they will support me through the learning curve. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's about, isn't it? It's what it's about. A bit like we supported Mikel Arteta through his learning curve. But if he's not learning, he only lasts for, you've got 5 years, Neil, so don't worry. You've got 5 years at least, so you'll be fine. So you don't need to worry. It's great. So there we go. Greg says, can't wait to see how many more defenders. Yeah, or defensive players. Yeah, I agree. Nathan says, such an underrated manager, Thomas Frank. Their recruitment has been spot on too. Yeah, no, absolutely. Thomas Frank to me is a brilliant manager. Absolutely brilliant manager. I think he's great. And, people have laughed at me when I've said I'd quite like him at Arsenal. And of course, the first question is, well, what's he won? What's he won? Well, he's manager of Brentford. Come on. It's totally different, isn't it? Being manager of Brentford to being manager of Arsenal, with the players at your disposal and the money and all that kind of stuff, right? There's no doubt for me, he would be a fantastic manager at a bigger club. He's a great manager where he is now. Imagine him at a big club with money that he could spend and stuff like that. I think tactically he's brilliant. They play great football. They're exciting to watch. And look at the results that they've had. At home in particular, yes, they need to sort their away record out. But, he's done a brilliant job. Thomas Frank. He's one of my favourite managers in the Premier League. I love the way that they play Brentford. But obviously, we've got to beat them today. We've got a decent record against them in this stadium. In the last 3 times we've been here, we've won without conceding. Neil says, it was nice to see Santi back at the Emirates. It was, yeah, such a lovely family. That exactly what is really nice, yeah. Nathan says it's not a big name. Does not matter. It's a case of, can he step up? I think he could. Exactly, yeah. And I think sometimes, as fans as well, everyone's obsessed with, we need to get a big name manager. We don't. We need to get the right man who's going to be able to take this project that's gone so far and take us over the line. Is it going to be someone like Thomas Frank? He's got no experience of winning big trophies at big clubs. No, of course he hasn't. And it's a gamble. But then any manager's a gamble. You could get somebody like Jose Mourinho, for example, or a manager, Carlo Ancelotti, managers that have had great records of results and trophies, like Jose Mourinho went to Spurs. couldn't do the job there. So I think that a big name isn't necessarily just the answer. I think you need to look around and see who's going to be the right fit for the club at the time. Now, you know, Thomas Frank has done nothing wrong, has he? For me, I just love the way they play football. You know, he's one of several managers that now, whenever you say, especially on social media, if you mention anything about, you know, Arteta out, whatever it is, the first question that comes is, well, who can you replace him with? Well, would those people have taken Arnie Slot in the summer? No, of course they wouldn't. They wouldn't have taken him, would they? The guy at Chelsea, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, Enzo, whatever his name is, you know, would any of those Arsenal fans have taken him? No, of course not. But look at the job those two are doing in their first season. Yes, okay, you could say, well, look at the money they spent, look at the squad of players they've got. Yes, but you've still got to get them winning games. It's not easy. It's not easy. I can tell you this right now. If Mikel Arteta went into Liverpool now and he was their manager, I don't think they'd be top of the league. I don't, because it would take him another 2 years with those players to get them to adapt to his system, because he's not flexible enough. Arnie Slot's come in, looked at what they've got and thought, you know what, this works. I'm just going to put a few tweaks here and there. Away we go. Mikel Arteta wouldn't do that because he's not flexible enough tactically. It's got to be the system and nothing else. And that's what's holding this team back, I believe. It's holding a lot of these players back, Martinelli in particular. But anyway, let's hope that 2025 is going to be the year where finally Mikel Arteta learns and gets things right and gets us over the line. We've got Chan with us there. He says, hi, Rich and Gunners. Let's start 2025, a big win. Oh, sorry, I'll put it on the screen for you. Absolutely. No, of course, that's what we want to do, don't we? A new year, a new start. That's what we want. Neil says, a bit concerned about Gabby. Physio was rubbing his hamstrings during training. I'm not sure it's worth risking him. Well, let's see. We're going to have to risk him because he's one of our top players, and Mikel Arteta doesn't like leaving him out. Terry says, let's hope Arteta don't quit, then otherwise Arsenal will fold. Exactly, yeah, we will. I mean, I don't know what we would do, honestly. I think the club would disappear. We'd have to go and support someone else, Barnett or somebody. Absolutely. Angie's with us. How you doing, Angie? Good to see you. Happy New Year. Like says, Arteta, best Arsenal manager. And he used to play for. He did used to play. It doesn't necessarily mean he's the best manager, though, does it? You know, there's lots of. Look at Wayne Rooney. What a great player he was. Look at what he's done as a manager. Nathan says, Mbeumo would be such a good signing. Great cover for Saka. Such a good player. He's a brilliant player, isn't he? Brilliant player. Anyway, Neil says, here we go. I'll check back at half time. Yeah, come on, you're going as indeed. We are just about to kick off. Arsenal are in the blue kit. Brentford, of course, in the red and white stripes and black shorts. They'll be attacking the goal to our left in this first half. No, they won't. They'll be attacking the goal to our right in this first half. Getting me left and me right confused. And we are off and underway here at the G-Tech Stadium. The very first game of 2025. And it's going to be a good one, I'm sure. But Arsenal need, of course, the victory. It's going to be a tough game. It's Brentford generally start quickly, don't they, at home? Didn't they score about 4 or 5 home games in a row inside the first minute? And we've played 20 seconds, and so far it's 0-0. So we'd have to take that as a win for the time being. Rajandra's with us, says, Happy New Year to all. Great year for... It's been a great year for us on the channel. Thank you very much, Rajandra, for your support, as always. Great to see you. Happy New Year to you as well. Happy New Year to everybody. And it is a new year, and we're looking forward to it. And looking forward to everything that is going to come along with 2025, whatever it brings. Hopefully it's going to bring a trophy. It's a success for Arsenal, both the men and the women. That'd be great, wouldn't it? And Arsenal are in possession now. It is Gabriel. Just plays it back to William Saliba. Gets the ball out to Martin Odegaard. A little bit deeper. He's playing now. Thomas Partey's made the run forward. It's inside the penalty area to Gabriel Jesus over on that far side. He does get a cross in, but it's cleared away by the Brentford defence, only as far as Thomas Partey. And then Mikel Merino shuffles the ball back to William Saliba. Now it's with Ricardo Calafiori back in the starting lineup. And says, afterwards, he wasn't well. You said you wasn't well. I hope you're feeling better. Because there's been a lot of flu-y stuff around, isn't there, the last couple of weeks. So I hope you're feeling better. I'm sure we'll see you on the channel again very soon. Anyway, also coming forward over on that far side with Ethan Wanieri. And the cross comes in from Juran Timber, but it's blocked. It's going to go out for a throw to Arsenal over on that far side. Gabriel Jesus has gone down already in the very early stage. And we already said, didn't we, that you know, we didn't have a lot of options. It might just be winded. He looks like he's holding his stomach there. He did run into one of the Brentford defenders there. It was Norgard, I think. Anyway, he seems to be okay for the time being. Let's hope he's going to be okay. Timber now over on that far side. The ball's gone out for a goal kick. Timber claiming he was fouled, but I don't think he was. The referee, by the way, is Peter Banks. Not that it makes any difference who the referee is, because we don't care. They're all the same. They're all corrupt. They're all useless. But his name's Peter Banks, just for the record. I don't know who's on VAR. I don't really care. Aren't they doing the VAR announcements in the stadium tonight for the first time? So they're making football even more like a TV show, even more like American football. But there you go. It's all good, isn't it? I'm sure. Anyway, 3 minutes played, still 0-0. Nothing much has really happened. It's a goal kick to Brentford, which Mark Flecken is going to take those long up that far side. It's flicked on. Oh, there's a bit of space in behind over on that far side. The ball across the box, and David Raya is there, of course, the former Brentford goalkeeper. That's how Brentford like to play. They get the ball forward quickly. And that was a really good attack there over on that far side. But Martinelli's just been fouled. Wearing pink boots. It was Ruslev, I think, there with the foul on Gabriel Martinelli. But that was a big chance there for Brentford, actually. Played up on that far side. It was flicked on by Mbeumo, I think it was. And the ball broke to, I think it was Lewis Potter. It's a good cross. And David Raya had to come and get it. And he did. Otherwise, it would have been a simple chance for Johan Wissa to tap in to the net. And that's what Brentford are really good at, aren't they? These quick counter-attacks. It was a lovely cross, actually, but David Raya read it well. And that's why we've got the best defensive record we did have the best defensive record in 2024. Mark says, it's Happy New Year, everyone. And yourself, my friend. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good Christmas. And looking forward now to things getting back to normal again after all the celebrations and stuff that's been going on. Anyway, Brentford in possession in midfield, play that ball forward, and Gabriel leaves it to run through to David Raya. It was Damsgaard with the ball forward. And Arsenal trying to play it around at the back. But David Raya, instead, all in yellow, goes long up the middle to Brentford ahead. But the ball falls here on his near side to Mikel Merino, driving forward, plays it forward to Gabriel Jesus, just inside the penalty area on his left-hand side. Needs a bit of support, as he knows he goes around the outside, but he's maybe done too much and gives the ball away. And Brentford can clear it away. Did a little bit too much to Brentford have given it straight back to us there. It was Mbeumo. Now it's with Thomas Partey just on the edge of the Brentford penalty area. And Martin Odegaard now looking for a ball square to William Saliba. That's out to Ethan Nwaneri over on that far side. Cuts in field, tries to play across, instead finds Martin Odegaard fitting into that Bukayo Saka role. You know, maybe that's a good role for him, you know, Ethan Nwaneri. We'll see. He started again quite brightly. Martin Odegaard threads the ball forward again to Ethan Nwaneri, holds off a challenge and keeps possession, plays it back to Saliba, demanding the ball again. This is good play from the youngster. Plays the ball out to this near side, Gabriel Martinelli. He's going to have a run at the Brentford defence, goes around the outside, but he's done too much, left himself too much to do. It's gone behind for a goal kick. It was decent defending actually there from Roslev. Good defending there from the Dane, and it's going to be a goal kick to Brentford. The one thing Brentford are going to be is they're going to be strong, they're going to be physical, and they're going to make it difficult for us. There's no doubt about that. We know this, we knew this already, and that's certainly how the game started. These first 6 minutes here, not really any clear chance at goals. It looks like it's raining there in West London. I'm sure Brentford used to be Middlesex, but I know they've changed the borders and stuff like that now. Anyway, it is raining at the G-Tech Stadium, and there's a foul there on Thomas Partey by Johan Wissa, claiming his innocence there, but it is a free kick to Arsenal, which we've taken quickly, in fact, too quickly. The referee wants to go back and take it again. Let us take it again. And it is going to be a free kick now, which Gabriel plays square to William Saliba. Now it's out to that far side. Martin Odegaard, almost playing as a right back, finds Ethan Nwaneri over on that far side, cuts in field, looking for a pass, plays it back out to Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard now looking to try and create an opening, chips the ball to this far side, and near side Martinelli heads it down into the path of Mikel Merino, but it's cleared away by the Brentford defence. Terry says, been raining all day down here. Has it? Oh, well, there you go. We've had okay weather, been a bit windy. It rained a lot yesterday. And I think more rain is forecast. We got away with it this morning for the run, actually. There was no rain this morning when we went out for a run. So that was nice. It was a bit chilly, but enjoyable. Get out in the fresh air in the morning, innit? El Loco says, Ethan made his Premier League debut here at Brentford, so Arteta figured he'll have a feel for the stadium. It was when he's not his Premier League. Yeah, his Premier League debut came as a sub. Yeah, you're right. It's his first Premier League start, of course. No, you're right. He did make his first appearance here, didn't he? In that game where he became the youngest player ever when he played for about 2 minutes and then didn't play again for about 2 years, did he? But I'm not sure that's just the reason. I think maybe, we need to come up with a solution to Saka being out of the team for a few weeks. And maybe Mikel Arteta wants to give it a try and see it. So far, it's not too bad. Anyway, the ball there fell well to Gabriel. Thought about a shot from distance, changed his mind, gave it to Calafiori, gets it back, Gabriel, into midfield now with Thomas Partey. Flicks the ball forward to Mikel Merino. Now it comes up this near side, the left to Gabriel Martinelli wearing gloves. What a fairy. Anyway, ball played into Thomas Partey, who's wearing short sleeves. See, that's proper footballer, wearing short sleeves, no gloves. The ball played out to the far side to Ethan when he goes around the outside. Can he get the cross in? It's deflected behind it. It's going to be Arsenal's first corner. And let's see what happens from this particular set piece. Obviously, we've been great from set pieces, haven't we, this season and beyond. But of course, no Saka or no Declan Rice. And they, of course, are the two that really put those balls in, don't they? So it's going to be interesting to see how we cope with that. We didn't do too well from corners against Ipswich, did we, the other night? Very, very poor performance that was. Not really good enough, although we hung on for the victory. Come on, Ipswich at home. Anyway, it's going to be Ethan himself to take this corner over on that far side. He did win it for Arsenal. It's going to be a left footer, of course, as he is in swinger, very deep to that far post, and Arsenal head it back across the goal, but nobody's there for Arsenal, and Brentford can hack it away deep into the Arsenal half. David Raya comes all the way out to halfway to get it. Nice little control there on his chest, actually, there from the Arsenal goalkeeper. Of course, knows this ground well as well, doesn't he? Having played for Brentford for a couple of years before he joined Arsenal, but a great signing he's proved to be. Martin Odegaard now thinks about a shot from distance, and it goes into row Z behind the goal. He looks a bit strange with his little beard, doesn't he, Martin Odegaard? Doesn't really suit him. Sorry, mate. You're a handsome boy. You don't need to grow a beard, do you? Anyway, I'm sure he likes it. But that shot wasn't very good either, was it? It went high over the crossbar and into the Brentford fans behind that goal. The Arsenal fans are in the corner at the far end. The goal that Arsenal are defending in this first half here at the GTEC Stadium. Arsenal had a terrible record at Griffin Park. Not that we played here. The last time we played in Griffin Park was in 1947. We did actually win on that particular occasion. It was the only win we had at Griffin Park, which is pretty good. Mark C says, looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. He does a little bit, yeah. He definitely does a little bit. You're absolutely right. And says, wet and miserable in N9. Well, yeah, maybe you've had the worst of the weather, haven't you? Maybe down there today. It's not raining here, actually. It seems to have got a bit better today. Yesterday was terrible. Anyway, David Raya's now got the ball. I say back on familiar territory. He's all in the yellow kit he is today. He's going to kick it long, which seems to be a tactic in this game so far from David Raya, but it's a Brentford head that wins the ball. But Arsenal pick a loose ball up in midfield. A slightly heavy touch from Thomas Partey, but he's kept possession. Mikel Merino now bringing the ball forward to the edge of the box. Finds Gabriel Jesus just on the corner of the area here on his near side. Plays it back to Gabriel Margulies, brings it forward. The big defender finds Gabriel Jesus again. That's a nice ball too. Mikel Merino chips across towards the far post, but it's headed out quite easily there by Keane Lewis Potter. But only as far as Ethan Nwaneri finds Martin Odegaard. Juran Timber makes a run over on that far side. Can he keep the ball in? He does. Hooks across, just up into the air, really. Merino comes in with a header, but Brentford can clear it away. And they can maybe launch a counter-attack now with Mbeumo. That's a nice touch. And Wissa now can make a run through the centre. Was he fouled inside the centre circle by Thomas Partey? Referee says no. Looked like a foul, actually. Anyway, Brentford do manage to cut that ball out, and now they can come forward again. They will get the ball forward quickly when they've got the chance. They've got a lot of pace, and they're going to use it here on this near side with Bryan Mbeumo just inside the penalty. Cuts inside. Ricardo Capello only scored. Wow. On the counter-attack, Brentford take the lead. It is Bryan Mbeumo. 12 minutes on the clock, and that was a goal out of nothing, really. A quick counter-attack. David Raya beaten at his near post. He'll be disappointed with that. Arsenal will be disappointed. We gave the ball away just inside the Brentford half. A quick counter attack. I said they get the ball forward quickly. They've got the pace. The ball played into Mbeumo, cut inside Calafiore. Poor defending from him, and he got his shot away on the near post. It was a poor ball actually from Martin Ødegaard. Initially, just gave it away, and Brentford turned the play over. A really good counter attack it was. Great movement there from Mbeumo. He's easily onside. And then Calafiore's got to stop him cutting inside. You've got to stop him cutting inside. And that is a good finish. That is a decent goal from Brentford. And that is what they can do to you in a flash. It was really good play in midfield, actually, initially there from Damsgaard. And then Mbeumo did the rest. He didn't need any help, did he? You've got to stop him cutting inside. You see he's going to use his left foot. He's all left foot. And that was poor defending from Calafiore there. And it wasn't great goalkeeping either. Greg says, oh, Happy New Year, Brentford. Well, it was, yeah. We've gifted them a goal there, haven't we? Really, really poor play. Terry says, still, it's good to know a new year and we're still crap. Well, yeah. But that was a goal from nothing. Absolutely a goal from nothing. A Brentford lead. And we've only played, 13 minutes now. And that was poor goalkeeping, you have to say as well. And it was poor play all round. Ødegaard gave the ball away. Calafiore, terrible defending and not great goalkeeping either from Raya. Maybe you can feel a little bit sorry for him because he wasn't expecting a shot at the near post. It was a clever finish. But, yeah, Calafiore there didn't exactly cover himself in glory, did he? Maybe we should have played Miles Lewis-Skelly. Who knows? Anyway, that's a long ball forward from David Raya. It's a poor ball, actually. And Arsenal a little bit rattled by that goal. Of course, as we said, we didn't lose a London derby in 2024, and already in 2025 we're behind in this one. Still a long way to go, of course, but the lack of attacking options is a worry. Now we've gone behind. It's all very well if you go 1-0 up with our defensive record. It doesn't matter too much, but when you go behind, that's when if we're still behind later in the game, that's when you need attacking options, don't you, to try and get yourself out of these problems. This is where your goal scorer comes in, isn't it? These are the players that get your points in these games. And of course, we still may well win this game, but it's certainly not going to be easy now, is it? And it wasn't going to be easy anyway. And Brentford coming forward again, they've certainly got some pace in wide areas, haven't they? And not short of quality either. This is a very, very good Brentford side, especially here. And but that's a good bit of defending that time there by Calafiore, and now Arsenal can launch a counter-attack over on that far side with Juran Timber. And Arsenal keep possession, 15 minutes played. Brentford 1, Arsenal 0. El Loco says, today might not be a good day for corner kick goals. Our best kick taker, Saka and Rice, are not playing. Exactly, I said that before. And obviously the first corner that we had, didn't go particularly well, did it? And Brentford cleared it away. So we might have to rely on actual playing football for a change to score goals. Anyway, Calafiore has just lost the ball, but it does fall here for William Saliba midway inside the Brentford half. Calafiore gets it back. Bit of a shaky start for the Italian. Just back from injury, of course. Gabriel now plays it over to that far side. Martin Ødegaard finds Juran Timber over on that far side. No, it's not. It's Ethan Maneri, sorry. Now Martin Ødegaard's crossed to the far post, headed out by a first Brentford defender, then the second one heads it away only as far as Ricardo Calafiore. Gabriel Jesus into the box. He's done well. Skipped around a couple of challenges, thought about the shot, changed his mind, chips it into Walls. Mikel Merino, he tried a clever flick, or it wasn't a particularly clever flick because it was cleared away quite easily, and Brentford have dealt with that Arsenal attack pretty well. And now this is where they're dangerous on the counter-attack. Wissa tries to bring the ball out there, overrun it a little bit. Thomas Partey nipped in, and Thomas Partey is now back in possession. Now it's with Martin Ødegaard. Going to have a run at this Brentford defence. Comes towards the edge of the penalty, gets it up to this near side. Martinelli got a little bit of time to think about a cross maybe into the box. Gabriel Martinelli on this near side. Actually, my stream has just decided to freeze, which isn't great, is it? Anyway, we're back up and running again. Actually, we're just doing the bit we just saw a minute ago. It does come back to Martinelli on this near side. He's got a little bit of time. Can he get the cross in? Thought about it. There's an overlap, but he does try a shot. It's deflected. And again, Martinelli not really producing a final ball that he needs to do. And there's going to be a yellow card for Juran Timber. And it's going to be a free kick to Brentford. And it was just stretching there for the ball, wasn't he, Juran Timber? He was just stretching a little bit there. And he's just caught there, isn't he? He's just caught Keane Lewis Potter, and it means Timber will miss the game at the weekend. That is his 5th yellow card of the season. So he's out of the game at Brighton, which probably means Thomas Partey will end up playing right back, seeing as we haven't really got too many other options at the minute. It's another position in the team we seem to be suffering at the moment. Anyway, Brentford have scored the most home goals this season. So we shouldn't really be surprised that they've scored, even though we've got this great defensive record. But one goal may not be enough. Let's see. Terry says, I told you cauliflower and ice cream were crap. Even Newcastle didn't want ice cream. Absolutely not. El Loco says, I won't mind us losing. It might force Arteta into actually buying strikers and wake up to the fact that we are not good enough without Saka. Well, we're probably not even good enough with Saka. Not good enough to win the league. But if he doesn't know already, if the club don't know already that we need to buy at least a forward player in January, if they don't already know, and that's regardless of the result of this game, win, lose or draw, to me it makes no difference. We've known for months, probably for a couple of years that we've been short up front. We need other options. Yes, okay, Kai Havertz is out today. I think he's one of the victims of this illness. Apparently that's been going around the camp. But yeah, we've needed it for a while. The result of this game makes no difference. And if it takes a defeat here for them to realise that, and I'm sorry, they're the wrong people in charge of this club, because we've seen it for a long time, haven't we? And even if we win this game 4-1, it doesn't change anything. We still need that, don't we? We still need that. Freddie's with us there. He says Brentford have only lost one home game, and that was against Forest. It was, yeah, against Forest. That was in their last home game, actually. They lost 2-0 just before Christmas, didn't they? I mean, Forest are flying at the minute, let's be honest. I mean, there's no disgrace in losing to Forest at the minute, the way they're playing. But anyway, Gabriel just conceded a free kick, and it's going to be a set piece to Brentford. It was a foul there on Norgard, I think it was. But you're right, yes, the Brentford have only lost one game at home. They're one of the strongest teams. In fact, it's only... their home record is only bettered by ours, I think, this season. In fact, they may even have more points at home than we have, because we've obviously drawn a few. Anyway, it's a free kick to Brentford just inside their own half. The goalkeeper, Mark Flecken, is going to come and take this, of course. He's had a hard job, hasn't he? He'd come in replacing David Raya as number 1 for Brentford. But he's done a decent job, hasn't he, the German for... sorry, he's not German, is he? He's Dutch. I do apologise. Anyway, he's done a decent job for Brentford. And he's going to take this free kick. He's wearing all green. The Brentford goalkeeper is Brentford 1, Arsenal 0. We're coming up to 20-minute mark here at the G-Tech Stadium. It's a long free kick towards the edge of the Arsenal penalty. A header comes in, and it's going to go wide of the goal. It's going to be a goal kick to Arsenal. And it was Nathan Collins there, the Irish defender, with that header. Didn't really threaten David Raya's goal at all there. And it is a goal kick. And Arsenal maybe a chance just to regroup a little bit here. We've not really responded particularly well to the goal, have we? But what we're not doing in this game is playing it out from the back, which seems to be a tactic, probably because of the way Brentford press in the final third. So we're kind of bypassing that, and we're going longer, which I prefer anyway. I've got no problem with that. Although David does play it out from the back there. Comes to Thomas Partey. That's played out to Timber over on that far side. He is going to be missing at the game against Brighton on Saturday, which we will bring you. That game kicks off again like this one up, 5:30. So we'll be at 5:15 again on Saturday for that one for you. Another tough away game against a team that in the past has caused us some problems, haven't they, Brighton? Although in recent years we've seemed to have overcome that. Certainly down in their stadium at the Amex, we've got a decent record in the last couple of visits here, but they were our bogey team for a while, wasn't they, Brighton? They're not won for a while. They're difficult to beat, though, aren't they? And they did, of course, get a draw with us at the Emirates, didn't they? They go, of course, when Declan Rice got sent off back in August. Anyway, it's Mark Flecken again for Brentford, goes long, looking for Mbeumo, the goal scorer. It was a good header from Gabriel. And now Arsenal trying to bring it forward. Williams-Lieber does well, finds Thomas Partey, and he managed to get the ball out to Timber. Chips the ball forward up that far side, looking for Ethan Nwaneri, but he doesn't win the header. It was it was Keane Lewis Potter, 2 young players there battling against each other over on that far side. Arsenal's right. Ethan Nwaneri, of course, replacing Bukayo Saka in the team. He's done okay in this game, but we certainly haven't created anything yet, have we? Brentford now coming forward again. A little bit of space on the edge of the penalty. It wasn't a great ball, actually. And I think it was Norgard and Arsenal managed to clear it away. Not a great clearance, actually, and Arsenal play themselves into trouble. Good, strong defending there by Ruslev. Takes no prisoners, does he? Ruslev, the Danish defender. He's got a Viking look about him. And he certainly got stuck into that challenge there, didn't he? He's got the ball again on this near side. A big lad. Plays it back there to Van der Berg. And he gets it back to the goalkeeper, Flecken. And he chips it up this near side again to Van den Berg, another Dutch player. And the goalkeeper now just happy to keep the ball at his feet, not under any pressure. Arsenal aren't pressing at all. Gabriel Jesus was just down there looking at him. Now Martin Ødegaard starts the press over on that far side, but Brentford happy to play it back to the goalkeeper. Midway through this first half, it is Brentford 1, Arsenal 0. Arsenal struggling to create anything at all at this moment in time. And the ball's now back with Nathan Collins, and Brentford almost get themselves in a muddle, but they managed to get the ball back to the goalkeeper again. Again, they're going to play it through the midfield. This is Damsgaard bringing it forward for Brentford. Him that set up the goal. He's run a long way. No one's really put him under any pressure at all. He's managed to find a pass out to that far side, and Brentford coming forward again, looking dangerous. Over on the far side, Arsenal's right cross comes in. It's a good ball. Header comes in. Just headed away there under pressure. I think it was Ricardo Calafiore there. Looked as though that was going to be a big chance for Brentford to get the second goal. And Arsenal can't get the ball away. It's with Wissa now. Johan Wissa plays the ball up this near side. He's overhit that pass. And it's gone out for a goal kick. But that was a good ball again over on that far side. A good cross it was to the edge of the 6-yard box. And so certainly so far, Brentford tactically have got this spot on, haven't they? They've spotted our weaknesses and they've looked to exploit them every time they've got the ball. And they've done really, really well to nullify any threat that we've tried. Nathan says that was far too easy for Brentford. I think so far it has been far too easy for Brentford. We're not really pressing with any intensity at all. And it's not looking good at all. Jack says Calafiore haven't looking poor today. Well, Havertz isn't playing, so Havertz is looking very poor because he's not very well. But Calafiore doesn't look good at all. No, he did win a good header just a moment ago, though. Although he was caught out for the goal from Brian Mbeumo, who we did say is a good player before the game started. We did. And he is a good player. And he's got the goal. One of the top goal scorers in the Premier League. It's his 11th Premier League. Arsenal giving the ball away again. And again, it was Calafiore with the mistake. He's looking all at 6s and 7s at the moment, the Italian. And Brentford coming forward again. But that's a little pass there was easily cut out. And Arsenal can try and bring the ball away with Ethan Nwaneri over on that far side. Does well, actually. Jurgen Timber finds Martin Ødegaard. Can Arsenal score a goal on a counter-attack? No, they can't. That wasn't a great ball from Martin Ødegaard. In fact, the referee has called it back for a foul and he's given a yellow card as well to the captain, Christian Norgard, for that foul there on Martin Ødegaard. And he got himself a yellow card along with, of course, Jurgen Timber, who's also got a yellow card for Arsenal. 25.5 minutes played here at the G-Tech Stadium. Brentford 1, Arsenal 0. Not been a great Arsenal performance so far. Not really created anything of note. And Brentford have looked really, really dangerous on the counter-attack. The Ankanu says Arsenal win 3-1. Well, let's hope so. It doesn't look that way at the moment, but it's still quite early in this game. So let's not worry too much at the moment. But it hasn't been a great Arsenal performance so far, has it? We've given the ball away cheaply in midfield a few times. That's what led to the goal. And we haven't really created too much either, have we? We've got Ag with us. How you doing? Hello, England. She says, Happy New Year from Sweden. Winter outside tonight. Well, you must be having some nice, proper Swedish weather, are you? Good to say we had a good Christmas and a Happy New Year as well. And hopefully we'll see Gret as well later on today, where that free kick comes in. It's gone all the way through. It's a chance for Arsenal here. Oh, there's a missed kick there from Thomas Partey inside the box, and the rebound's deflected wide. It is going to be a corner. It was Lewis Potter there with a block. That looked like a big chance, actually, for Thomas Partey from that free kick. He looks like he may have been offside, or was the run a good run? No, he was offside. The goal wouldn't have counted anyway, and he made a bit of a mess of it, Thomas Partey. don't know whether the goal on the second effort there would have counted. They got deflected wide because Thomas Partey was offside. In fact, the offside's been given, so it is a free kick to Brentford. It isn't a corner. So there you go. And it is a free kick to Brentford, which Mark Flecken takes, goes long up that far side. It's flicked on again. Again, they've won that header. They've got him behind us here. Inside the penalty, a chance for 2-0. David Raya with a save. He's almost fumbled it. Manages to keep it out. The ball's still in play. Played back into the area. What is David Raya doing? He's had a nightmare in this game as well. We were, saying what a great defensive record that we've had. But Calafiore and David Raya have been terrible in this game so far. Anyway, Arsenal coming forward on the counter-attack, very nearly 2-0. And that would have been very difficult for Arsenal to come back from that one. But luckily, David Raya recovered from his mistake and managed to force the ball out. It looked like it was going to go in to the net. Would have been a very poor goal to concede that one, wouldn't it? Again, it's poor play over on that right-hand side. Anyway, Gabriel now opens up just in front of him, tries to thread it into the air. It's a good ball into Gabriel Jesus, but he can't get his shot away cleanly. Brentford clear it away again. But again, Arsenal win the ball on the edge of the area. But Brentford defended that really well. Oh, now they've given it away again, no, Brentford. And then Thomas Partey with a shot. Good save from Flecken. The rebound's put in. And I think it is the equaliser from Gabriel Jesus. Doesn't seem to be much of a celebration. There is now. Gabriel Jesus has scored. A bit scrappy it was. And in the end, it's Gabriel Jesus fires only the rebound after Flecken saved the initial shot. I think it was from Thomas Partey. And Gabriel Jesus has made it 1-1. And out of nowhere, really, again, that we've got the goal, but we'll take it. And it was a bit scrappy on the edge of the penalty. Brentford maybe overplayed it a little bit. Martinelli won the ball. Thomas Partey's shot was saved, and then diving header from Gabriel Jesus. He's in good form at the moment, isn't he? Couldn't score for months, and now he can't stop scoring. And it was poor play, actually, from Brentford on the edge of the area. They had 3 or 4 chances to get that away. They'll be so disappointed with that goal. They should have cleared the ball away. They didn't. And Gabriel Jesus is headed in the rebound. Brentford are claiming offside. I don't think it is offside. I think Jesus was behind the defenders initially. And it's a simple header. Nathan says, right place, right time. Indeed, yeah. Greg says, scrappy, but at least we're back in the game. Exactly, yeah. Mark says, will we have to wait for VAR? And I don't think VAR need to check that. I think that was fair enough. But yeah, right place, right time. Well, VAR have checked it. The goal's been given. There was not really much doubt when you saw the replay. And Gabriel Jesus has scored for the 5th time in the last 4 games, sorry. And he's finally found his goal-scoring boots, hasn't he? Gabriel Jesus hadn't scored for a long time. Nathan says, time to up the tempo. Indeed, that's what we need to do. We need to press home this now. Momentum has swung in our favour after. Could almost have been 2-0, couldn't it? Seconds before, when David Raya made that mistake, almost conceded a second goal, and then almost straight away we counter-attack. But that was really poor defending from Brentford. I'm sure Thomas Frank will be furious at that goal. Really, really bad goal to concede. I mean, our goal was bad. The Brentford goal was bad enough for us to concede, but that was terrible, wasn't it? Really, really poor defensively there from Brentford. And Arsenal have struck, and it is 1-1. And how important might that goal prove to be in this game? Because Arsenal didn't really look as though we were going to score until that moment, really, did we? We've been so poor. Anyway, coming forward again now. Martin Odegaard over on that far side. Plays the ball back to Mikel Merino. And that goes square to Gabriel Margulies. Plays up this near side to Martinelli. That's inside, finds Ricardo Calafiore. Now it's with Mikel Merino on this near side. Plays it back to Gabriel. Arsenal are looking to press home this advantage. Try and get a second goal going front. William Saliba chips the ball towards that far post. Headed back down there by Mikel Merino. And Brentford getting themselves in a bit of a mess on the edge of their area. They've won the ball now and they're going to look to get it forward quickly. In fact, he's trying to shot Ozzy there from inside his own half. And it had the pace and the power to beat David Raya, but not the accuracy. It's gone behind for a goal kick. Was that Johan Wisser there from would have been one of the most furthest out goals you've ever seen. He was well inside his own half there. I thought he was trying a long ball forward looking for Mbeumo, but actually he was trying to go for goal. And I say that the pace and the power of the shot was enough to beat David Raya, but it was nowhere near the goal, luckily enough. And it was a goal kick. Anyway, Brentford have just cleared this ball away. Good headed there from Gabriel, but Brentford pick up the second ball in midfield. And Arsenal just starting to get on top a little bit in this game. Mark C says, anyone else surprised we didn't start Rice? Well, I don't know if this is a problem because we've heard there's been an illness going through the Arsenal camp, whether or not he's been suffering from that, and that might be why he's not started. Potentially, I don't know if that's the reason. You'd imagine if he was fit, he would have started, wouldn't you? You would have thought so. God, David Raya only just kept that ball out just before. They're just showing the goal line decision there just before when he let the ball go through his hands. And it would have been a really poor goal to concede, wouldn't it? And he just managed to react. It was going in, and he just managed to get back and force it away from almost right on the line. And that would have been 2-0. Stuart says, a great game for News. It's very open, isn't it? You're right. It's been action at both ends. There's been mistakes and there's been 2 goals, obviously, as well. And you don't feel as though that's going to be the end of the goal scoring in this game, do you? You feel as though there might well be more goals. Neither team looks that great at the back in these early part of this game. Greg says, not surprised anything this manager does. Well, no, and apart from good things, they surprise me sometimes. But anyway, but you know, I'm not really sure about Declan Rice. Has he been suffering from this illness? I'm not too sure. Maybe. Terry says, Jesus scored in the 29th minute. Normally 29 ain't a good number for us. It's not a good number for you, is it? Because you don't like number 29. But it's been a good number for us today. And we've now played 34 minutes, and it is still Brentford 1, Arsenal 1 here at the GTEC Stadium. And Arsenal looking to try and close that gap, of course, on the leaders, Liverpool, who are in great form at the moment, as we know. Of course, looking to gain some more ground on Chelsea as well, following 2 defeats in a row for them over Christmas. But they was never in a title race anyway, as we all know. So it's irrelevant what Chelsea do, isn't it? It's what we do that matters. Chan says, what's happened to Kai? We need a winning goal scorer of last season. Yeah, well, again, I think he's another one who suffered from this illness that's been going around the camp in the last few days. I believe that's the problem. I don't know. It's not been confirmed. I'm just assuming that's what the issue is. But yeah, Kai's not even in the squad. And I say Declan's only on the bench. And also coming forward again over on that far side. A cross comes in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Mikel Merino heads it back into the air. Martinelli plays it back to Thomas Partey. Shots blocked. And that was a chance there for Arsenal to go in front. But Brentford managed to survive. And now Bryan Mbeumo gets possession and plays it back. And again, Brentford are losing the ball. They're losing the ball quite easily at the moment. You know, Calafiore got well forward on this near side, but in fact, he was offside. And it is going to be a free kick to Brentford. Terry says, perhaps Arteta has realised you can't keep playing injured players without consequences. Well, yeah, maybe. Mark C says, maybe they had lasagna on the lunch menu at the training ground. Yeah, maybe they did. Who knows? But apparently there's been this illness going around the squad this week. So we can only assume that's why Kai Havertz isn't included at all. And so Declan's only on the bench. Yeah, it's a free kick to Brentford, which goalkeeper Mark Flecken's going to take. Goes long through the middle there, and look at the way Brentford play. They're so direct, and they've won themselves a corner as well. And that's sometimes as easy as it is, isn't it? One long ball forward from the goalkeeper, and they've won themselves a corner from one end of the pitch to the other. And that's you know, sometimes that's the best way to defend, isn't it? Get the ball up the other end of the pitch, rather than messing around with it on the edge of your own penalty area. And that's what cost Brentford a goal. So I think the lesson's there for them as well, isn't it? Anyway, they've got a corner now, which I think is their first corner. And Arsenal, of course, so strong from corners at the other end. We now need to be strong at defensively from this one. It's going to be Bryan Mbeumo with it with that left foot curling it in. It's a low, flat one, and it's cleared away only to the edge of the penalty area. It's turned back in again, but that's going to easily go out of play. And it's going to be a goal kick to Arsenal into the last 9 minutes of the first half. Brentford 1, Arsenal 1. Mbeumo and Jesus are the 2 goal scorers. Mbeumo gave Brentford the lead after just 12 minutes. But Jesus has equalised. Arsenal give the ball away. It's Calafiore again. He's not been great at all, has he? And maybe, as we said, Miles Lewis-Skelly might have been a better option. He is on the bench, the youngster. Thomas Partey now driving forward for Arsenal. A lot of space in midfield to operate in. Can he find the right pass? Just plays it short to Calafiore. Plays up this near side to Gabriel Jesus. Cuts in field. The Arsenal goal scorer chips it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Headed away. Only comes out there to Mikel Merino on the edge of the box. Finds Calafiore again. Chips across the edge of the box. Punched away by Flecken. Just comes out to Duran Timber. Plays a short ball to Gabriel Jesus, the Arsenal goal scorer. Now it's with Gabriel Margulies. Plays it to Calafiore on this near side. Cuts in field. Thought about a shot. Oh, nice little intricate play on the edge of the box there, but Timber couldn't quite find Martinelli. Brentford cleared that away. And now it's inside the centre circle with William Saliba. Plays it forward to Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey looks to his far side. It's Martin Ødegaard. He's got Ethan Waneri outside him. Cuts in field. Chips the ball against the edge of the 6-yard box. And it's going to run harmlessly behind for a goal kick. And Martin Ødegaard hasn't been particularly great in this game. I'm blaming his beard, actually, because I don't think it suits him. And it seems to have affected his performance. He's not been playing that well lately, has he, Martin Ødegaard? Is it a consequence of, obviously, the games he missed when he was injured? Sometimes you come back from injury and you maybe initially you get your form back and then you maybe drop off. You've seen that happen a lot. It's probably a physical issue. So, yeah, we'll have to see how that works out. But he's not in great form at the moment, Martin Ødegaard. There's no doubt about that. Nathan says he has been poor, no quality in the final third. No, there isn't. There isn't any quality in the final third at all. And even the goal that we got was slightly down to Brentford's poor defending, and it was a bit scrappy. And that seems to be the way of Arsenal's attacking, not just in this game, in the last game as well against Ipswich. It was very similar, wasn't it? We didn't really create too much against a really poor Ipswich side, let's be fair. And to hold on for a 1-0 win in that game wasn't the stuff of potential champions. But I suppose in the day, the 3 points is what matters in any game, isn't it? And I've said I'll take scrappy 1-0, but against Ipswich at home, you just expect a bit more, don't you? I was very disappointed with the way we played. Ethan Waneri's cross flicked on by Martinelli at the near post, then Mikel Merino, but it's headed out again by Norgard. Comes to Calafiore, a poor touch from him, and Brian Mbeumo can take the ball off him, the Brentford goal scorer. He comes forward again, and then he's fouled by Mikel Merino, one of 3 Mikels in the stadium today, of course. Mikel Merino, Mikel Damsgaard, and, of course, Mikel Arteta. Mark C says, going to have a heck of a good cross to find Jesus between those 2 centre-backs. Yeah, they're 2 big lads, aren't they? Greg says, when was the last time we had quality in the final third? When Dennis Bergkamp and Thierry Henry were playing, maybe? No, that's unfair. We've had some decent teams since then. Terry says, no, Richard Ødegaard is just overrated. Well, no, I agree with you. I do think he is overrated. But he does usually play better than he has been in the last few games, where I think he's been really poor. He's overrated. I agree. He's nowhere near as good as everyone thinks he is. He's a decent player, but he's been poor. Anyway, Brentford coming forward now. They're finding some space through the Arsenal lines, and the ball's played out to that far side. It is going to be Keane Lewis Potter, who's going to cut in field and puts a cross in, headed out quite comfortably by William Saliba. But Brentford do pick up the second ball. Mark C says, Calafiore looking like he was out on the lash last night. He does, yeah. He looked like I felt this morning when I was doing my run, actually. Anyway, the ball, I don't even drink. Anyway, Mikel Merino's just put that behind. It's going to be a corner to Brentford. We're into the last 4 minutes of the first half. Very even game, actually. And I think 1-1 is probably about right. Brentford have looked very dangerous on the counter-attack. There's no doubt about that. But we've looked a bit shaky defensively, not looked great going forward, but we've certainly had enough possession to warrant being level. There's no doubt about it. Anyway, Brentford have got a corner looking to try and go back in front. It is Brian Mbeumo again. This one towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed out. But Brentford again pick up the second ball. They're quite a big side. They're certainly not intimidated, Brentford, are they, by our sort of strength at set pieces physically? They're not, are they? They're standing up to us, Brentford. I think that's what you've got to do, haven't you? You know what our strengths are from set pieces. You just got to stand up to us, and that's what Brentford have done well in this game. You know, I say they'll be so frustrated with that goal they conceded because it was really, really poor from them. But they played well, Brentford. They're a very good side. And I think 1-1 is okay at the moment. It is as we come down towards half time. I don't think 1-1's bad. We'll sort of take it, won't we? We're not overly concerned at the moment. Um, Kyle says there, where do you honestly think we'll come by the end of the Premier League? I mean, Terry's gone sixth. I think sixth was a little bit maybe. I don't know. I think we'll come higher than sixth. I mean, we're in a race for a top four. We are in a race for the top four. There's no doubt about that. You know, alongside Chelsea, Aston Villa, Newcastle are in there, aren't they? That's what we're fighting, and I think we'll finish in the top four. I do. Third or fourth potentially, but we'll see. Aggie's gone top four. No, I think top four. Yeah, I think we'll get top four. Chan says Rice needs to train direct corner kicks for upcoming game. Well, I'm sure he'll be back on Saturday for some more corners because we certainly haven't looked so good from the corners today, have we? Jesus has just given the ball away and then fell down holding his face when he wasn't even touched. This is one thing I do not like about some of these Arsenal players. Really, really don't. But anyway, he's not even hurt, is he, Jesus? He gave the ball away and he's pretending that he's got hit. And it was Damsgaard, the Brentford player. The referee hasn't given a free kick. It wasn't a free kick. And now he's pretending to be hurt because he had a terrible, terrible touch and gave the ball away. Oh, come on, mate. Come on. That is ridiculous. This is another reason why I just can't stand him. Stuart says top two. Well, no, you can't just say top two. You have to say, are we going to win it? Top two's no good. We've come second like lots and lots of times. Come on, first or second. If you think it's going to be top two, which one? Which one are you going for? I think we'll actually come third, is what I think. But we'll see. I'm going to say third because I think the way that we've played this season, we're probably about third best team. Defensively, we're top. There's no doubt about that. Going forward, we're probably about 9th or 10th. And in midfield, we're probably about 4th. But I think defensively, we'll be strong enough to definitely get that top 4. Stuart's gone first. Well, I admire your optimism. I just don't see anything from this team to suggest that we can win the league, that we can catch the Liverpool team that look to be the real deal, don't they? I mean, okay, yes, a couple of years ago at Christmas, we were flying like Liverpool are now and we fell away. But we had a very inexperienced team. Liverpool don't. Liverpool have got a team that's won the Premier League. They've got players that have won the Premier League. They've got a manager who knows how to win league titles. He's just come off the back of winning a league title last season in Holland. And people say, well, it's the Dutch league. Yeah, but you've still got to win your league, haven't you? You've still got to win your league. Come on, I mean, I don't know. I'd be amazed if Liverpool fall to bits in the second half of the season. I just don't think they will. And they've got the depth that we don't have. Let's see what January brings. But as things stand at the moment, I'm going third. I think we'll finish third or fourth, but probably third. Anyway, it's going to be 4 minutes of stoppage time, mainly because of Jesus rolling around pretending that he was hurt. Because he lost the ball and didn't want to look like an idiot, although he looked more of an idiot by rolling around pretending that he'd got hurt. But anyway, there you go. Nathan says he's shaking his head, mate. He barely touched you. Right, he barely touched him. Yeah. Rajendra says it was a swing of the arm from a defender. He wasn't really a swing of the arm. He put his arm out. He barely touched him. I mean, if you're going to go down like that, you want to get. You thought you'd been like punched in the face. He got a little tiny knock off an arm, and he's gone down as though he's been shot. That's just really, really poor from him there. Really poor. And it comes on the back of him giving the ball away really badly as well. And he's always got that in him, though, Gabriel Jesus. He does it all the time. Goes down claiming this and that all the time. It's just, I don't like it. That's not Arsenal. That's not the Arsenal way. But, look where he's come from. Look where he's been coached by for years. So it doesn't surprise me. I just don't like to see it because we should be above that kind of stuff. Anyway, Ethan Waneri over on that far side. We've played 1 out of 4 minutes of stoppage time. Looks like it's going to finish at half-time 1-1, but we'll see. Will Arsenal get one more chance? Martinelli on this near side plays it back to Calafiori. Now it's with Gabriel. Plays it across to Mikel Merino. Tries to thread it out to that far side to Duran at Timber. He's going to miss the game against Brighton, remember, because he's had that booking today. Egg says there, men in soccer, such drama queens. Yeah, you're right, they are very much drama queens. A nice turn on the edge of the box there from Ethan Nwaneri, but Brentford managed to clear the ball away. We're into the last couple of minutes here at the end of this first half. It's been a decent game. It's been quite an even game, and I think 1-1's probably about right. But Arsenal looking to try and get the second goal here. Martin Odegaard on the edge of the box manages to flick the ball to Ricardo Calafiore. He's been pretty poor in this game. He plays the ball square though to to Ethan Nwaneri. He almost got it back, Ethan, there. In the end, Arsenal do pick up with Mikel Merino. Now it's with Thomas Partey out to that far side. Cross comes in from Timber. No Arsenal player can get there, and Brentford hook the ball away. We're into the last minute of stoppages at the end of this first half. David Raya there plays it out to that far side. William Saliba plays it in field to Thomas Partey. Now it's with Gabriel, finds Ricardo Calafiore. Last few seconds here of this first half. Gabriel Martinelli touches it back to Calafiore. Now Mikel Merino plays it forward, looking for Martinelli. But it's played back though to the Brentford goalkeeper, Flecken, who kicks it long out of play for a throw to Arsenal on this near side, which Calafiore is going to take. And Thomas Frank is just winding his players up, wants a little bit more from them. Just coming up to half time. It was what a time to score it would be for Arsenal if we can get the lead now. You do feel as though this could be the turning point in this game. Will we get one more chance in these last few seconds of this first half? Ball played out to that far side. Ethan Nwaneri goes around the outside. It's a good run. What's the cross like? Not very good. It's straight into the arms of goalkeeper Mark Flecken. And that may well be that for this first half. Or maybe Brentford will get a chance here. A ball played forward, a long ball, but Brian Mbeumo's not going to get that. And David Raya comes out easily to get that ball and rolls it out to Thomas Partey. Still we play on at the end of this first half. Thomas Partey brings the ball forward. Now it's with Calafiore. Plays it to Mikel Merino. Touches it back to Martin Odegaard. Lines up a cross. Not a great cross, but he's going to come over on that far side. So Ethan Nwaneri just on the edge of the penalty area. In fact, he was offside. And as that happens, a half-time whistle blows. It is Brentford 1, Arsenal 1. And it was Brentford who took the lead 12 minutes. Brian Mbeumo was Arsenal. Martin Odegaard actually gave the ball away in midfield. And it was Damsgaard played it forward. Brian Mbeumo cut inside Calafiore, beat David Raya at the near post. A decent goal, poor defending. Arsenal really huffed and puffed a bit after that. Didn't really look like getting back into it. But just before the half an hour mark, we did manage to find the equaliser. Scrappy goal. Brentford had 2 or 3 chances to get the ball away. They didn't take it. In the end, Thomas Partey's shot is pushed away by the goalkeeper Flecken, and Gabriel Jesus was at the right place at the right time to put a diving header into the net to make it 1-1. And it's probably about right for the balance of the play. It's been a very even game, but Arsenal haven't been great. There's no doubt about that. We haven't been very good at all. So there you go. Mark says, oh, blimey, I hate the transfer garbage the newspapers come up with, connecting us with everyone under the sun in general. Well, of course they do, yeah. It's laughable, isn't it? Greg says, we don't look like a team who wants to challenge for the league. Perhaps we've decided to go for the cups instead. I'll tell you what we don't look like. We don't look like a team who believes. We don't look like a team who believes. Now, I've got to be honest, much of this season, I haven't watched a lot of live football. I've watched, obviously, highlights, stuff like that. I've obviously watched the Arsenal games. But over Christmas, I've watched a lot of football because I've had more time on my hands, maybe. And I've watched all the Liverpool games as well. And they're a team who believes. They believe. You know, they went 1-0 down against Leicester at home a few weeks ago. And you just knew they were going to come back and win that game. You could see the belief that they had. And that's the difference. Arsenal don't look like a team that believe. We don't believe we can win the league. We don't look like we do we? The way we're playing, it's very passive. It's very... I don't know. We don't look as though, to me, we don't look as though we believe. Terry says, what a load of rubbish. Well, it was not great. I agree. Neil says, at least Jesus is getting amongst the goals again. Yeah. And, you know, if you're a striker and you stand inside the penalty area, particularly around the 6-yard box, you're going to get goals, aren't you? Because the ball 9 times out of 10 during the game is going to fall there several occasions, and you've got opportunities. And that's what he's done recently more, hasn't he? He's getting himself in those positions to get goals. And it's good that he's scoring. Is he the answer? No, but it's going to convince the manager maybe. El Loco says, we just don't carry same attacking threat we did with Saka. Martinelli has done 0. Don't see how we'll survive 9 games in January. Unless we buy someone. But even that might take a few weeks for them to settle in, I suppose. Nathan says, that was rubbish. Lucky to be going in 1-1, in my opinion. Brentford are good at home. It was comfortable for them at times. No, I thought there was times in the game when Brentford played well. I thought there was times in the game when we were very sloppy. I thought there were times in the game when we looked at as though we had more control of it. We didn't create a lot. Brentford haven't really created a lot either, to be fair. I think 1-1's probably about right. They'll be so frustrated with the goal that we scored. Really bad defending from them and terrible mistake they made. But I think 1-1's probably about right, if I'm honest. We haven't played very well. That's the bottom line. Neil says, that was a great recovery save from Raya, but terrible mistake from him. It reminded me a little bit of Seaman. Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. Terry says, come on, Neil. Is that the best that you could come up with? Things must be bad. Neil said 0. Owen is well below his best. Yeah, he's been terrible, yeah. Neil said it's not been great. It hasn't been great, no. We lack shots on target. Well, we just lack shots in total, don't we? But that's not just in this game. That's the issue, isn't it? There you go. Terry says, Neil, you're our positive influence. We all rely on you. Yeah, we do. Yeah. So Neil says we'll win. Well, we may well win. Yeah. Neil says they always concede at home. Yeah, they do. Neil says 1-1 is fair. Yeah, I think so. Over the 45 minutes, I think so at the moment. Terry says, thanks, Neil, but you're a bad liar. Well, let's wait and see. Nathan says, if you could sign one player, who would you choose? Right now, with what we need, see, it's difficult because I know that the players that I want us to sign, if we sign them, Arteta would ruin them. He wouldn't play them to their strengths because he'd want them to fit into the structure of the team. My big signing would be Alexander Isak. I'm sorry, he's the best striker in the league at the moment. He offers something different. He's a type of player that you can see fitting in with our players. His movement's great. He's quick. He runs in behind. He can finish. But I don't think Mikel Arteta wants a player like that. And if he did buy him, he would get him. He wouldn't bring the best out of him. So I don't think we'd see the same Alexander Isak we're seeing for Newcastle if he played for Arsenal. I'd love Arsenal to sign him. Brian Mbeumo, the same at Brentford. You know, I just can't see them playing that way under this manager. Neil said Marino's just crap. Honestly, I don't like looking at him. I don't like his face. I don't like his hair. I just don't like him. I don't like his name. Maybe that's the reason. Terry says, Nathan, I'll buy a new manager. Well, obviously, yeah, that's the way forward. But Daniel says, I saw the same game and Leicester were not trying, unlike Brentford. Of course, Leicester were trying. The difference was Liverpool just pressed them all over the pitch and just sucked the life out of them. That's the deal. We don't do that. We do not do that. Everybody tries. Every single team in the Premier League tries. Nobody doesn't try. It's just how you overcome that. Teams against Arsenal, Brentford aren't doing it, but teams come to the Emirates with a low block like Ipswich did, and we struggle. Teams go to Liverpool with a low block. Liverpool don't struggle because they just press the life out of them. And they've got better players than us. You know, you can't tell me Leicester didn't try. Leicester tried in that game. They just, obviously, they lack the quality. You'd expect that. They've just got promoted. They're in the bottom 3. And Liverpool are at top of the table. And it wasn't that they didn't try. Liverpool just absolutely sucked the life out of them. And Liverpool just knew they were going to win. They just carried on, press. Bang, bang, bang. Eventually they got the goals. And it was obvious, inevitable. Neil says we need a new front line. I don't think we do. I think we need a new manager because even with a new front line, we look at the front line we had when he arrived. Nicolas Pepe, Alexander Lacazette, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. That's a decent front. At that time, that was a decent front 3. And Mikel Arteta just killed all 3 of them. So I think he could sign the best 3 attackers. He could have Haaland, Isak, and I don't know, maybe in Buemo as a front three, and we'd still be the same because he would not have them playing the way they're playing for the teams they play for. It's a manager that's the problem, not our front three. Our front three aren't good enough. We haven't got enough backup. I totally agree, but it makes no difference. That's not really the problem. Terry says, I wouldn't give Arteta another penny to spend. I wouldn't either. I'd ask it to pay some of it back, is what I would do. Neil says Martinelli has not progressed. He hasn't. El Loco says we need a killer striker like Gorkarez, but of course, Sporting won't ever sell. Not now. Well, no. Plus, as well, even if we had him, again, he'd be playing left back, wouldn't he? If we bought him. Greg says I wouldn't give Arteta another game. No, me neither. Terry says, why would you want to ruin Isak's career to bring him? I just like him. Then you're right. It would ruin his career, actually. Yeah. But I don't like his face. I don't like anything about him. I'm sorry, I don't like his hair either. Nathan says Isak is an incredible talent. He has no weaknesses. I don't think he does. No. Every time I watch Newcastle, I watch Newcastle a lot. He impresses me more and more every time I see him. He's a real deal. But yeah, you're right, Terry. We would ruin his career if he came to Arsenal. It'd end up being a Gabriel Jesus, wouldn't he? Score 1 in 10 for us because he'd have to fit in. Ag says, well, also any Swede will do. Well, I'm sure you'd like a few more Swedes. We've had a few good Swedes, haven't we, over the time? Neil says, but why would Newcastle say, well, they won't sell him. Well, not now. They're certainly not going to sell him while they're in a semi-final of a cup and just outside the top 4, are they? Of course they're not. So we'll see. Neil says, but Rich, Arteta is going. No, I know he's not going anywhere. That's what's frustrating. I want some owners. I don't know whether you saw it. We all hate Man City. Of course we do. We know what's gone on there. But I saw the documentary the other night. I think it's called Together, isn't it? Looking back on last season, the 4 in a row. And their owner, their chairman, he's at the training ground all the time. He's talking to the manager. He's in the changing room before a game. He cares. He wants to win. He's not accepting anything else. Our owners don't really care if we win or not. If they're making a few quid here and there, sell a few more shirts, get in the Champions League. That's all they're bothered about. And that's the difference. That's why we'll never be successful. And it's not just Arteta's fault. If we get a new manager and they've still got the same owners, we need new owners. That would be the biggest improvement that we could make. But yeah, while we've got these owners, we're not going anywhere. Absolutely not going anywhere. And unfortunately, Mikel Arteta is a consequence of that, isn't he? Anyway, I am going to quickly go myself a cup of tea because I've got something exciting to show you, actually. Something really exciting to show you. But I need to go make a cup of tea first. So stick with me. We'll be back very, very shortly. Don't go anywhere because the second half is probably going to be quite good. Or maybe it won't be, but we can't miss it, can we? So stay with us. I'll be back very shortly for the second half. It is going to be good. See you in a minute. So the teams are back out for the second half, or Brentford are. And I've just got a moment to have a cup of tea. Look at this. This is the new Arsenal mug, courtesy of Terry. And it's specially made. Look at that. It's got all the Arsenal kits on from 1886 all the way to now. Look at that. Lovely. Wanted to get the right cup. We've got the right cup now, so we're happy. We are happy. Always been a few comments actually. Oh, I see. Talking about. I haven't got a Yorkie actually. I just had a big roast dinner before we started, so I'm not hungry yet. I'll have something probably later on. Back at work tomorrow. Anyway, Arsenal coming back out. Mikel Arteta's coming back out. Unfortunately, I thought he might have been sacked at half time, but apparently not, because he's back out again. So we'll see. So yeah, this mug, I say it's courtesy of Terry. Bought it for the channel. So we've now got a nice Arsenal mug. We've been waiting for it for ages. It turned up over Christmas, and yes, it makes the tea taste better. Actually, it makes the tea taste better. And says, I got a Christmas kind of sauce. Did you? The real one? Oh, that's nice. Hopefully he'll be turning up on Andreas's vlogs a few more times this season as well, because he's been the star of the show, hasn't he? Pretty much. But anyway, I'll get some good comments there. Neil loves the mug. Nathan loves the mug as well. That's what we've got to do, because it's great, isn't it? Terry says, Neil, when you're coming back and doing some shows on here, to be honest, it's not Neil's fault, it's my fault getting the shows organized. I just haven't had the time, unfortunately. I'm hoping to start doing more regular shows again now. I'll have to make time to do them, because it's important that we do them really. Terry says, well, at the end of the season you'll need a bigger shelf. The amount of mugs and merch we chuck out. Well, exactly, yeah. This wasn't bought from the Arsenal shop, this wasn't bought from the Arsenal shop. I refuse to give them my money. But yeah, it's nice though. I like it. All the kits and that, it's good. It's pretty much, it actually starts from, what's the first kit on it? I actually think it's the very first kit, isn't it? Yeah, 1886. So it's all the kits from 1886. All the way to 2025, the current one that we're wearing today. So there you go. Lovely. Nice cup of tea. Neil says, very unusual mug that is. So it's beautiful, isn't it? It's a work of art, actually. It is a work of art. It almost feels too nice to drink tea out of. I was thinking of taking it to work as well, and having it on my desk at work, but I actually think no, it's going to stay here. I don't want it to get damaged. There's a possibility it could get damaged at work, so I'm not even going to take that risk. But yes, it is a thing of absolute beauty. There is no doubt, and I'm very happy with it. Neil says, "Don't do that. Look, I'll have to look after it because my last Arsenal mug got broke at work. Oh, it wasn't going to get broke at work. I dropped it, and it got broke. So I'm not going to take that risk." Nathan says, "No, I'd not be taking it to work. No, I'm not going to. I did a run before Christmas. It was a hot chocolate run. It was called. And at the end, you got a mug with hot chocolate, and it's got like the logo. And I'm taking that one to work instead, because if that one gets broken, I'm not going to be quite so disappointed, am I?" Plus, as well, since I broke my last Arsenal mug, Arsenal haven't won a trophy. In fact, I've probably broke a few mugs since Arsenal last won a trophy, if I'm honest. Greg says, it's the best cup we'll see this year. It probably is, yeah. It probably will be. Probably the only cup we'll see this year, actually. But we haven't got a corner, and we know what corners tend to lead to. Actually, no, because we haven't got Declan Rice taking it. It's going to be Martinelli over on that far side, and these corners aren't quite as good, are they? We've played 3 minutes of the second half. Nothing's happened yet. Neil says, right, see you all in 45. We will win. No, well, we might well win. Let's wait and see. It's a corner over on that far side. Gabriel Martinelli, Arsenal do their usual far to the near post. The corner comes in, flicked on at the near post, and it's going to be bounced behind for another corner, actually, the ref's given. Matty Driver said, Matty says, hello, beautiful people. Just popping in to wish everyone a blessed and prosperous New Year. Stay safe. Yourself, my friend. You can stay with us if you want as well, but Happy New Year to you as well. Good to see you. Terry says, this is the first year I got no Arsenal merch from Santa, but did get Arsenal calendar from the two dogs, Wally and Beefy. But came from Sports Direct. Oh, you got a good Arsenal calendar, haven't you? I don't have much doubt about that. Mark C says, I wish for 10 minutes we could swap one area and Martin area. But that'd be a manager who kind of wants to try different things, and that's not the manager that we've got, unfortunately. You know, this corner comes in and the goalkeeper's got it as he dropped it, and it's bouncing around. Oh, and we scored a scrappy goal, and it's Mikel Merino with his horrible hair and his horrible face has just scored. And again, it's from a corner. And Arsenal have turned this around. Not the most exciting goal and not the greatest goal, another scrappy goal, it has to be said, but it is nonetheless. And it is 2-1. And that will be one of the more scrappy goals that you'll see this season. It is Mikel Merino with it. Not quite sure what the goalie was doing at all. The corner came in. It wasn't even that great a corner, was it, to be honest? It was bending in towards the 6-yard box. The goalkeeper was completely made a mess of it. It bobbled around. Jesus' shot was cleared off the line, and Mikel Merino's put it in from about 4 yards, and he couldn't really miss, could he? And from 1-0 down, Arsenal are now 2-1 up, and we'll certainly take that, won't we? Against a Brentford team that don't lose at home too often. Greg says, that is it. We're lead now. Drop back and defend. We're definitely going to drop back. We dropped back and defended at home for 40 minutes against Ipswich. So we're bound to do it away against Brentford, aren't we? There's absolutely no doubt about that. HB says, Mikel scores. He does. He did score. We'll take that, won't we? Matty says, horrible hair. No, you needed to be here for the first half to get that little joke, Matty, unfortunately. Spedenda says that is what Merino's for, scrappy goal. Well, I wouldn't have thought he was bought for that reason, but he's got a scrappy goal. We'll take it, won't we? Anyway, Ethan Waneri's just lost the ball, and we need a bit more from him. Anyway, Martin Odegaard now Arsenal in front. We look a little bit better, but that was poor actually inside the penalty area from Mikel Merino, funnily enough. But you can suddenly see a difference in this Arsenal team now we're in front. But anyway, Terry says, I wish forever we could swap managers. Even a houseplant will do at this point. Yeah, exactly. I would like to see it as well, but it's not going to happen, is it? It is not going to happen. Especially not now we're winning. Christ. Nathan says more confidence. It is kind of about confidence. Yeah, I agree. It is more about confidence. I think you're right. But I don't know. We just look totally different. It's the same in every game we go in front. Oh, a little flick there from Jesus. Couldn't quite get the ball back. And Brentford will attempt to get it clear up that far side. But Brentford can't get out their own half at the minute. It's a much better Arsenal performance. Thomas Partey now brings the ball 4 plays up this near side to Ethan Wanieri. It's across to the edge of the 6-yard box, headed out. Comes to Gabriel Martinelli. He's put it in the far corner. It's 3-1, and that'll do now, won't it? That is it. It's all over. Arsenal have won this game. The rest of it, we might as well stop watching it now because we're just going to defend for definite. It is 3-1. 2 goals in 2 minutes. That was Martinelli there. Brentford are complaining about something. I'm not quite sure what they're complaining about. And the Arsenal players have gone over to that far corner to celebrate with the fans. Gabriel Martinelli is with the goal. Ethan Wanieri got the ball on this near side, cutting field, chipped across in, headed away, falls to Martinelli. And he's took that pretty well, hasn't he? Nice first touch and then a volley into the far corner. And that's a good finish. Not quite sure what Brentford are complaining about. They're complaining about a foul there on the defender. We did look as though there was an arm in his back, actually, from Jesus. But anyway, it's a good finish, isn't it? And there's no saving that one. And Arsenal lead 3-1. And you imagine that will be that. Another London derby, another Arsenal victory. Adios. Is there a VAR check going on here? Is there a VAR check going on? Because we haven't restarted. The referee seems as though he's having a VAR check. And it's been given. I thought it was going to be given. I didn't see any reason for it not to be given. And it's been a fast start to the second half from Arsenal. But I expect us to sit back now. Matty says, I'm at the in-laws today. The missus wouldn't allow me to watch the game. You're my lifeline. Oh, at least you're with us anyway. I'm sure you're having a great time. Aggie says, well, away for a while, 2 more goals indeed. And Arsenal coming forward again now. You feel as though Brentford have maybe gone now, their head's gone. But that cross from Martinelli's easily handled there by Mark Flecken. Phil says, good start to the half. It has been a good start to the half. Indeed, it has been. Not quite sure what Thomas Frank said at half time. Happy New Year, by the way, my friend. Hope you're well. And yes, it is 3-1 to Arsenal. And you do feel as that's it now, isn't it? You know, we haven't conceded more than 2 goals in a game. In fact, since we beat Luton 4-3, December 2023. That's the last time we conceded 3 in a game. So you imagine we've done more than enough to win this game now, thanks to that fast start to the second half. We are now we will be 6 points behind Liverpool, who do still have that game in hand, of course. But there you go. Mark C says, you're sitting there, Matt, with your phone under the dinner table. He is, isn't he? That's what he's doing. He's got his headphones on and all that. That's what he's doing, definitely. Which is fine, isn't it? Regenda says, we need more likes for more goals. We do. Yeah, absolutely we do. We've got 3 goals we wasn't expecting, actually, so that's good. Anyway, Brentford coming forward now. If they can get a second goal, they will fancy their chances of getting something from this game. They're coming forward again. The ball played into the penalty area, but Wissa couldn't get it under control, and Arsenal do clear it away. Oh, but Brentford is giving the ball away. And Arsenal now looking to try and come forward again. Gabriel Jesus plays it back to Ricardo Calafiore. And Arsenal recovered from that bad start to lead fairly comfortably now. El Loco says, Ethan has been a man of match so far. He has been proactive with 2 assists. We have found a solution to say, well, yes, I mean, 2 assists, I suppose. He won't get an assist for the second goal, will he? Because that was his corner. You know, it didn't directly go in from the corner, did it? So he won't get an assist for that. But he certainly will get an assist for that. Actually, won't even get an assist for that other goal either, will he? In actual fact, because his cross, it was sort of half cleared by the defender first, so he won't actually get any assists. Anyway, it's a free kick to Brentford over on that far side. And they just need to regain their composure. There's a yellow card there as well for Calafiore. So he's another player that's been booked for Arsenal for that foul there. But it was Gabriel that fouled him. I mean, so hang on, Gabriel did the first foul and Calafiore gets a yellow card for the second foul. A little bit strange that, anyway. There you go. Anyway, it's a free kick to Brentford, just about on halfway, and it is going to be the goalkeeper Mark Flecken to take it. So a second Brentford goal would make life a little bit more uncomfortable, wouldn't it? Greg says, I need to get an Arsenal mug. I'm still using my Winnie the Pooh mug. Winnie the Pooh, well. Anyway, that free kick comes towards the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. It's headed sort of half away. It's put back into the penalty area again. And then Arsenal can clear it away a little bit more this time. It's put back in again. And it's a bit of head tennis going on. And then Arsenal hoof it clear up the far side with Gabriel Martinelli. He's given the ball away. And Brentford can now try to come forward. Going back to Ethan Nwaneri, I think he's done a bit of an up and down game, if I'm honest. He's done some good things. He's been positive, but also he's been pushed off the ball a bit easily a couple of times. And I don't know, he's had a mixed game for me. I don't know about man of the match. He's had some good moments, But he's also had some not so good moments. But it's his first start in the Premier League. Come on, I mean, Terry says my man in the match so far. His best game for Arsenal has been 29 because he's not playing. Yeah, he's had a good game today. He hasn't made any mistakes anyway. Anyway, Brentford coming forward now up this near side. Nathan says, I would not say he hasn't really stood out. No, he's done some nice things. Brentford with a cross into the box that's really poor. And that was from Norgard, the Brentford captain, and easily for David Raya. Now he's gone long up that far side for Martinelli to chase. Martinelli scored the Arsenal third goal, cuts inside, tries to play it into Jesus. He flicks it towards the goal, but it's gone wide. He's claiming a corner. I'm not quite sure what he's claiming there. He's always claiming something, isn't he? But there you go. Greg says, totally agree, Terry. He's found his natural position. Terry says there's plenty of mugs on AFC. But no, really, you're right, actually. They're not as nice as my mug, are they? Let's be honest. Come on. I've yet to see one that's this nice. That cup of tea was nice and all. Lovely. Anyway, it is a goal kick to Brentford. We played 60 minutes. It is Brentford 1, Arsenal 3. And Arsenal are edging the way towards 3 big points in this game. And I say would be 6 points behind Liverpool, who do, of course, have a game in hand. Well, the game in hand, of course, is the Merseyside derby. And, of course, derby games, although Everton aren't particularly good, they're certainly capable of getting a draw against Liverpool, aren't they? They can shut up shop and defend. So, that's the only good thing about it is that's the game. That's a game in hand. It's not. It's not a game again. It's not Ipswich at home, for example, where you'd expect them to win. It's a game where they could drop points, I suppose. But anyway, Terry says, to be fair, that's a guess. Never watch it. Well, I mean, it's a good guess. I don't really watch it now. I used to years ago. I think everyone did, but no, I don't really watch it anymore. Anyway, Brentford still coming forward with Brian Mbeumo over on that far side. He was the Brentford goal scorer, put them ahead very early in this game. But Arsenal have since turned it around, and they've now won a corner, Brentford. And that was a good play, actually, over on that far side from Damsgaard, I think it was. Nathan says they've been decent defensively of late. No, they have, yeah. So they're capable of getting a draw against Liverpool, I think. Mark C says, do you have to thump on the floor to get your missus to bring up another cup? No, I have to go make it myself, my friend. I have to make it myself. I don't mind anyway. I quite like making my own tea because I'm quite fussy. So no, that'd be a good idea. Maybe we'll have to suggest that. Maybe I'll have to get a stick to bang on the floor. I imagine that'll go down well, won't it? Anyway, it's going to be a corner to Brentford, and the referee is just having a word with Gabriel. Seem to be getting involved a little bit there with Lewis Potter. And anyway, it is a corner to Brentford, which Arsenal are going to have to defend because, as I say, there's still plenty of time left in this game. Should Brentford get a second goal, it will certainly make it interesting, wouldn't it? Anyway, that's a different type of corner, and that was a big chance, actually. It was Wisser it came to. Tried to hit it on the volley, and now suddenly Arsenal on a counter-attack. But Flecken's out of his guy with a diving header to deny Martinelli. Mark C says, Terry, they are complete wallies on AFC. Yeah, they are. Greg says, is it Yorkshire tea or is it PG? It is, actually, what tea is it? I think it's PG Tips. It is PG Tips. Which used to be advertised by Monkeys, didn't it? But obviously, Monkeys can't advertise anything anymore. So there you go, which is a shame, isn't it? Because they used to make the tea, didn't they? The Monkeys. You remember? I'm sure that was PG Tips, weren't it? Anyway, Terry says, I can see Richard ending up in the next bed to who starts banging on the floor. Yeah, I think that's probably what would happen, yeah. At least I'll be able to see Saka, I suppose, but yeah. I don't think that would go down particularly well, would it? Terry says, T Mr. Shifter. Nathan says, what are your thoughts on Lee Gunner? Well, it's interesting, actually, Lee Gunner. A lot of people talk about Ligo. Obviously, I know who he is. I don't listen to a lot of. I don't really watch his channel. It's full of shouting and nonsense, really. But I do think some points he makes are fair. I think some of the stuff he says I agree with. Obviously, some of the stuff he says I don't agree with, but that's pretty much like anybody, isn't it? You don't agree with everything everybody says. I think no one's ever going to take it seriously because he seems to be doing it for the wrong reasons. But I do think sometimes he's right about stuff. He's been right about Arteta. He's been right about a few things, right about a lot of the players, and I kind of agree with him about certain things. But he doesn't help himself, does he? Let's be honest. I mean, his channel's ridiculous. Just shouting matches all the time and stuff like that, just for clout. It's ridiculous, really. I'd quite like to have a sensible conversation with him, but it just won't happen, will it? Because that's not what he's about. Anyway, Brentford are coming forward here. They've started to sort of get back into the game in the second half following that terrible start they had, conceding those 2 quick goals, and they've now won a free kick over on this near side. Calafio was Awaneri, sorry. Mark C says, did those chimps ever get that piano down the stairs? I don't think they did, no. I don't think they did. See, that was in the days where, adverts and stuff like that, you didn't have to worry about who might potentially become offended because nobody did, because nobody cared. Nobody really cares now. Most people don't. But you're still not allowed to do these things in case one person gets upset. Ridiculous. But no, I don't know if they did, actually. I don't know if the monkeys did ever get. I'm assuming probably not. Although that's not happened to their monkeys, actually. Wonder what they're doing now. They're probably on AFTV, actually. Anyway, Brentford got a free kick on this near side, which Brian Mbuemo may well be taking. He's certainly thinking about it. In fact, it's not. He's going to take it. He does indeed whip it in with that left foot. It's not a bad free kick. Arsenal head it away. I think it was Mikel Merino, actually, with his horrible hair, got on the end of that and got it away. But Brentford have managed to pick up possession again over on that far side. It was a decent free kick, actually. But no one could get on the end of it. Nathan says, do you remember the utterly butterly plane? I do, actually, yes. See, what's happened to that as well? Mark C says, we did Purcell adverts in the late 80s, I think. Yeah, Purcell adverts were good. In fact, they had lots of good stuff, didn't they? Terry says, Lee does a good show. I think it's on Mondays with him, Jez, Matty and Kenny Ken. I see, to be honest with you, I don't really watch. What I've done is, and maybe that's not fair, I've watched clips that get put on social media of bits of his shows, and it just seems like it's all shouting and arguing and ridiculous stuff like that. But so I've never actually watched it live or anything like that. I've just seen clips of it. So maybe I need to have a watch of it myself. Maybe it just doesn't seem like my sort of thing from what I've seen. But it's very popular. Lots of people watch it, obviously. And he's doing quite well for himself, which is fair enough. I've got no problem with that at all. I just don't, it's all very well trying to make money out of YouTube and stuff like that, but I don't know. I think you need to try and keep your dignity a little bit, and I don't think maybe he does that too much. Nathan says it might have been when he was on Terry Fleur's channel. Yes, he's another one, isn't he? I don't really watch him. I just watch clips of him, and I don't really like that. To be honest, it's the only one I watch, mainly Kenny Ken. No, I like Kenny Ken, yeah. I've met Kenny Ken, actually. I've been on some shows with him as well. He's a good guy, Kenny Ken. It's a shame he's got an association with AFTV, which is a shame. But, a few people have that. Dan Potts is another one. I know Dan Potts. He's a good lad. He's doing well for himself. He's very good at his YouTube channel. Brilliant. But again, he's got himself involved with AFTV, which... is not a good idea necessarily, although I suppose it's going to help popularity, I guess. Nathan said, I like Dan Potts. Yeah, I like Dan Potts. Yeah, he's a good mate of mine, and he's a good lad. But yeah, he's doing really well, actually. His channel is brilliant. I must admit, I watch everything he does. I think he's brilliant. I just don't like the association he's got with AFTV, but each to their own. Mainly it's through Lee Judges, to be fair, because he's good friends with Lee Judges. And Lee Judges is all right as well, actually. I quite like Lee. Got no problem with him at all. I've met him a few times. But I think it's just that whole AFTV concept is the problem, isn't it? I just think that yeah, being associated with them, I don't think it's a good thing. But I suppose it's a way to boost your profile, and obviously that's what Potsy's done really well, and he is very, very good as well. He deserves it. So yeah, if you haven't watched Dan Potts' channel, I think is it called The 12th Man, something like that, isn't it? It's really good anyway. And he talks a lot of sense, Dan Potts. He's been on this channel actually as well a few times. And yeah, he talks a lot of sense, Dan Potts, and yeah, he's definitely one to listen to. And Kenny Kent as well. I like Kenny Kent. Terry says Judges has gone off the rails lately. I've not really seen much of him lately. Actually, I know he obviously he's on Potts's show quite a bit. I see him on there sometimes. He's all right, Lee, and I've got no issues with Lee. So I've met him a few times. He's a good guy actually. But it's like anything, isn't it? A lot of people are on YouTube have got a big profile, and you've got to keep that profile, haven't you? Greg says, I don't watch these Arsenal channels. They usually have very biased opinions and don't seem to realise once we were successful. So I know some of them do. I say Lee Gunner's one who maybe does see that. He's always criticising the current kind of state of the team. So, which is fair enough. And Potsy does as well. Potsy's pretty real with it. He's obviously like all of us, he's happy when we win and he's not happy when we lose. And he's quite happy to give the reason as well, which is fine. And Nathan says 12 man, yeah, it's great, isn't it? Yeah, he's great, Dan Potts. Anyway, this game kind of fizzled out a little bit since the third goal. I mean, Brentford have tried to get back into it, but Arsenal haven't really looked like we're going to concede a second goal. Although Brentford are just about to make a couple of substitutions. Anyway, they are coming forward now up this near side. If they do get a second goal, though, there is still 20 minutes to play. Who knows? It could lead to a nervy sort of finish, couldn't it? Because if we don't win this game now from 3-1 up, that would be an absolute disaster, wouldn't it? The ball played out to the far side for Brentford. So there's 20 minutes to play. There's still loads and loads of time in this game. This is a good spell from Brentford without really threatening a goal. They've got a lot of possession, but it's fairly safe possession as far as Arsenal are concerned. Ball played in there towards the edge of the penalty. Thomas Partey steps in to try and win the ball, but Brentford do keep it. Matty says, which I reckon we're a striker and two quality midfielders away from getting back to our 2022-2023 form. What do you think about Brahim Diaz of Real Madrid and Tijani Rangers of AC Milan? I mean, my concern is always the same, especially in January. It's you need a player. You need players who can come in and hit the ground running straight away. And I think the best players to do that are players that's played in the Premier League. I think it's more of a risk getting players in from different leagues who have never played in England before, because it might take them 6 months to settle, and that's not going to help us this season. I think going forward, they're more of your summer. I suppose that they're a signing in January that can settle and have an impact for next season, and yeah, that would be good for that. But I think for now, we're not going to have a lot of money to spend, are we, right now in January? So I think we need players who can hit the ground running for us right now. And that means, for me, buying players that are already in the Premier League, or certainly players that have played in the Premier League before and understand the league and understand the country and can settle in straight away. That would be my priority in this January window. For me, it's okay buying players that are going to do well in the future for us potentially, and bringing them in now so they can settle in. But that's not going to help us this season, is it? And we've got a big opportunity this season to do something big. We're in 4 competitions still, and the squad, we need something to help get us over the line in certainly 1 or 2 of them now. Greg says if we got back on our 22-23 form, we're still 5 years away from winning a trophy. Well, yeah, that's probably true. I mean, I think what happened in that particular season, we certainly for the first half or so, we didn't really have any injuries, did we? We had a settled team. We maybe caught a few people by surprise that season. And I think that's probably why it went the way it did. Oh, a little back heel there from Martin Odegaard, but Mark Flecken's out quickly. So he says, doesn't he pull sledges of a big rain? I know, well, he's not like rain. Well, I suppose it looks a bit like reindeer, doesn't it? Nathan says, Kudos would be a very good signing. Yeah, he potentially would be a good signing, yeah. So, if I was looking now for January, I'll be looking at, someone like Kudos, someone like Isak, players like that in Buemo, these sort of players that are in the Premier League already. And Brentford are making 4 subs here. Wow, they're making 4 subs. You have to say their manager's not shy, is he? He'll try and get the team back in the game. 4 subs he is bringing on. Well, with 16 minutes to play. So Brentford are going for it, aren't they? They are going for it here. And let's have a look who is coming on. So number 32 is Paris Magamar. He's coming on. Matthias Jensen's coming on as well for Wissa. He didn't really have a great game today, did he? Johan Wissa. He's got a lot of goals this season, but it wasn't his day today. Kim Ji-soo's coming on as well, who's a Korean midfield player. And who else is coming on? A lot of changes all at once. Quite difficult to keep a track of them all, but Matthias Jensen is definitely on. And it is Paris Maghomer's come on as well. It's a corner to Brentford, actually. So they've made 4 changes as they've got a corner here. So Norgard, Wissa and Damsgaard are off. Jensen, Sharda and Maghomer. I thought they made 4 subs, but maybe it was just 3. Anyway, so Daniel Sharda was the other one. Sorry, Kevin Sharda, the German striker. So they're going for it now, aren't they, Brentford? They've got a corner over on that far side, whipped into his edge of 6-yard box, but David Ray's there. Comfortable for him. Matty says Kudos is a baller, he is. And Matty also says Mbeumo would be great. So yeah, I think Mbeumo would. He looks. Oh yeah, Van den Berg's gone off as well for Jisoo. So it was 4 changes. I don't think the graphic on the screen could put enough on there. Greg says time to bring on Zins for Jesus. It probably will be, yeah. That's probably what will happen, won't it? Or Jorginho will come on for Martin Odegaard as well, probably. Anyway, at least Brentford are going for it in this second half. But the game's really sort of fizzled out a bit, really, hasn't it? You do feel as though for it to have any life at all, Brentford would need to get another goal and do it quite quickly because there's only 40 minutes left. But you can't see them doing it. I think Arsenal won this game pretty comfortably, to be honest. Mark C says no chance of us getting Kudos. No, we had a chance, didn't we? Was it a year or so ago where we could have bought him apparently, and we didn't. So there you go. Terry says it's okay saying all these ballers, but Arteta doesn't want to entertain and bring the fans excitement. Well, no, I said that before. It doesn't matter who we buy. We're not going to play the sort of football that we want us to play, and that those players won't play like they play for their current team under this manager. They just won't. Matty says, is Decker's not match fit? Well, I don't think he is. No, he's coming on now. I say there has been an illness in the camp. I don't know whether that's the reason. Anyway, Miles Lewis-Skelly's coming on. Trossard's coming on, and Declan Calafiore is going off. Didn't have a great game, did he, Calafiore, to be honest with you. He got booked. He was at fault for the Brentford goal. Not his greatest hour. Ethan Maneri's coming off as well. He did okay, didn't he? Had some good moments today. Still got a lot to learn. Obviously, he's a young player, but he did okay. Trossard's coming on. Miles Lewis-Skelly's going to come on, play left back, you imagine. Trossard's going to take the place of Ethan Maneri, and it is Mikel Merino. He got the important second goal, didn't it, at the start of the second half. And he's going off as well for Declan Rice. And Arsenal making, again, like-for-like substitution, as we tend to do. And Declan Rice is coming on for these last, 12, 13 minutes. So I don't know how match fit he is. I thought Ethan did okay, didn't he? He did okay. So not his greatest ever game, but he's still learning, and he had some good moments. And he did play a part in 2 of the goals, didn't he? Matty says, Calafiore off and still no Keita. No, we know what's happening. He'll be off in the next few weeks, won't he? Kieran Tierney, and good luck to him because he's been treated appallingly by this manager. He's not the only one either, is he? There's been a few. Terry says, the way Calafiore is jogging off, let's hope he carries on down the motorway. Well, yeah, let's hope so, yeah. He's not been great, was he, today? Ricardo Calafiore, there's no doubt about that. And he's not been great since we bought him, I don't think. you have to say him and Mikel Merino, sorry, have been very, very underwhelming signings, haven't they? That's what worries me about January. We may well make 2 more unconvincing signings. But anyway, let's hope that we don't, because we could do with some reinforcements. I think there's no doubt about that. And as we said, this win here today doesn't change that. Oh, yeah, excuse me. So yeah, a win here doesn't change that. Yeah, Sterling, exactly. Yeah, what a terrible window that is. Imagine bringing in 3 players like that: Calafiore, Merino, and Sterling. What a terrible! That's got to be a 0 out of 10 transfer window, that is it? Well, maybe a 1 out of 10. Merino did score today, and Calafiore did get that great goal against Man City. Anyway, Brentford are coming forward up this near side, and this is a good play actually there by Sharda. And Brentford, 11 minutes to play. If they were to get a second goal, what do we think? Would that make you a bit nervous? It made me a bit nervous, I've got to be honest. Even though they've not really threatened too much, it's been fairly comfortable for Arsenal since them 2 early goals in the second half. We haven't really been putting too much pressure, have we? Matty says, I reckon even Katie McCabe will be ahead of KT in a pecking order at left back. You're probably right. You're probably right, actually. Anyway, I'm not sure what's happened there. Terry says, has never been great cauliflower ice cream, so can't even blame Arteta for their demise. Well, no, although he did buy them, I suppose, didn't he? Well, I don't know if he did. Was it Edu? So this is the thing, you see, Edu, obviously something's happened with Edu. Is it because he gave Mikel Arteta these 3 players that obviously he didn't want? But anyway, who knows? Although he's I suppose he's using them, or apart from Sterling, he hasn't been using them, has he? Nathan says, Cauliflower's a centre-back, not left-back. Not sure he would be any better, though. Exactly, yeah. But this is what Mikel Arteta likes, doesn't he? He likes playing players in their wrong positions. He does it all the time. And he is more of a centre-back, but he's a left-sided centre-back. There's no way he's going to play ahead of Gabriel. And Gabriel doesn't get injured very often. And when he does, he'll play Jacob Kiwior there, who's terrible. Like, really bad. So this is the problem we've got, isn't it? That there's nothing wrong with our first 11, 12, 13 players. You know, we've got a decent team. There's no doubt about that. We'll win a lot of games. We do win a lot of games. But it's when you look into the squad depth, that's the problem that we've got. And if you're going to win titles, you're going to be challenging for lots of honours. You need to have more depth. And we don't have the quality there, do we? And the last transfer window we had didn't improve it, did it? In fact, it's gone the other way. Mark C says our current crop of defenders is the best we've had in 20 years. Well, no, I don't think it is. I think that the first choice ones are, absolutely they are. I don't think the backups are that great at all. In fact, the backups I think are quite poor. You know, Jacob Kiwior is nowhere near good enough. Calafiore is nowhere near good enough. Ben White, I don't think he's really. You know, you're not gonna win a Premier League title with Ben White as in your back four. I'm sorry, you're not. Timber's great. Saliba's great. Gabriel's great. I still think the left back issue is a bit of a problem. Lewis Skelly's come in and done really well. Maybe he's the answer there. But I don't think the backups are that good. I really don't. But anyway, it's a long throw to Brentford on this near side. Headed on inside the 6-yard box. Oh, almost a goal there for Mbeumo again. Couldn't quite get on the end of it. And in the end, Arsenal survive. A team playing in red and white stripes with long throws causing us problems. That's a bit of a throwback, isn't it? To the Britannia Stadium, of course. Matty says, so with Timber missing the next match, is Partey slotting in at right back against Brighton and Mitoma's about to have a picnic? Well, I would imagine so, yeah. I would imagine he will be, because obviously Ben White's not fit. Tomiyasu, who knows what's happened to Tomiyasu? I mean, Christ, he must be the most injured player ever. So, yeah, you'd imagine Thomas Partey's going to play right back. And yeah, it's going to be a problem. It is going to be a problem. Terry says we need Xhaka back. Yeah, we do. We shouldn't have got rid of him, really, should we? You know, it looks as though Mikel Merino has been brought in to replace him. Sorry, you're not up there, mate. You're not. But anyway, it is what it is. We're second in the league. We're third in the Champions League group. We're in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. We haven't started the FA Cup yet. You know, this could be a season to remember. It really could be a season to remember. I'm going to remember it as I haven't particularly enjoyed it so far. Although I haven't really enjoyed the football that we've been playing. But anyway, if we win trophies, I won't really mind. Matty says Ben White's returning on the 9th of March. Is he? Is that? Oh, he's already given a date. Is it 9th of March? Is that for the Carabao Cup final? To be honest with you, I don't even think Ben White's that good. He fits our system. Nathan says 5 years into Arteta's tenure, the lack of squad depth is really concerning. I mean, it's concerning not so much the time. Yes, that is concerning, but it's more to do with the money we spend. That's what's concerning me. All that money that we spent and our squad depth is just nowhere near good enough. It's nowhere near good enough. And to be fair, I get the feeling that Mikel Arteta doesn't want a good, deep squad because he only trusts certain players and he only wants to play the same players every week anyway. So I don't think he really wants a big squad. Anyway, Arsenal now got a counter-attacking opportunity to get a 4th goal. Martinelli on his near side. He's going to head towards a corner flag. There's a surprise. There's only, 6 minutes to play? And then he puts a terrible cross in, trying to win a corner, and it rolls away through to the goalkeeper. That was quite poor, actually. Anyway, there is, 5 minutes to play here at the GTEC Stadium. Arsenal pretty much guaranteed of getting another 3 points. And we're going to start 2025 as we finished 2024, another London derby away victory. Of course, we did beat Crystal Palace 5-1 just before Christmas, didn't we? That was our last away game, and this is going to be another fairly comfortable in the end victory, although it's not really been that comfortable overall, has it? But there you go. Terry says, yes, all over by February. Well, I remember those seasons under Arsene Wenger where at this point in the season, we were in a very similar position. We were well in the league race. We were still in the Champions League. We'd qualified for the knockout stage. We were in the semi-final League Cup. We reached that stage quite a lot. And yes, quite often all those seasons disappeared, didn't they, quite quickly? And I agree. I don't know about by February, but I can certainly see it falling away quite quickly. I think once one tournament goes, one competition goes, I can see the others falling alongside. I mean, the semi-final is going to be difficult against Newcastle, isn't it? Of course, next Tuesday is the first leg at the Emirates. I think we need a good lead to take up there. We've been really poor, haven't we, last few seasons? So we need that. So let's see what happens there. Of course, the FA Cup, we've got a great chance of getting through against Man United, who, wow, it's the worst Man United team I think I've ever seen. Certainly since the sort of 1980s anyway. So we should get through that game, but who knows? Maybe they'll throw everything at the FA Cup because they know the league's gone for them. Anyway, what's happening here? Oh, Jorginho's coming on. But be for Erdegaard, won't it? Well, I said that, didn't I? But that's what happens. And there's 3.5 minutes to play, plus stoppage time. And we're going to see Jorginho. And he'll be coming on, no doubt, for Martin Erdegaard. Here's a free kick to Brentford. But I think their day's up. They're going to lose at home for the 2nd time in a row. And Gabriel Jesus has just had his shirt ripped. I'm sure he's got another one. But he might keep this one for the time being. Who knows? Anyway, it's a free kick to Brentford. It is Jorginho coming on. And who is it that's going off? It is Martin Erdegaard. There you go. So predictable, aren't we? So predictable. And he gives him the armband as well. And our captain, again, doesn't play a full game. He was poor today, Martin Erdegaard, wasn't he? Anyway. But, of course, he'll get to start every game. He's captain. Anyway, Jorginho's now on wearing the armband. And Arsenal just going to try and see this game out. The second half's been a bit of a non-event since them 2 quick goals. The game was won. Brentford haven't really threatened a way back. And that's about that, really. Greg says, all the time we keep getting these types of results, nothing's going to change. Exactly, yeah. Paper over the cracks, as they used to say. Terry says, 1 shot in 180 minutes, not looking rosy. We must have been on 1 shot today because we've got 3 goals. I mean, the goals are scrappy, really, apart from the 3rd goal was well taken. Anyway, we are heading for another victory. And like Greg rightly says, to be honest with you, I don't think things will change regardless. Anyway, we could have lost this game today. I don't think it'll make any difference. The manager's not going anywhere. and the club aren't really going anywhere. We're just going to be, it's no different now, is it? So when in those years under Arsene Wenger, where basically we were just challenging for the top four every year, getting in the top four every year. And that wasn't good enough then. It wasn't considered good enough. We'd be in a title race in January, February, March, sometimes even into April, some seasons. And that wasn't good enough. And yet now it is good enough. I don't understand why. What's the difference? We were playing more exciting football then. I enjoyed it more. And the results pretty much are similar. Just because we're winning more games in a season or we're scoring more goals in a season is irrelevant, really, because the end result's the same, isn't it? Arsenal making a bit of a mess of clearing this, and Brentford coming forward over on that far side with Shard hasn't really had a chance to get into the game. The German Brentford now looking for a goal. It's probably a little bit too late, you have to say. This cross comes in. It's actually a decent ball to the far post, but no Brentford players there. And Martinelli will get there. Newcastle. Oh, I see what you mean. One shot in 180 minutes at Newcastle. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's what's happened in the last 2 seasons. We've had one shot, and even that wasn't a very good shot, was it? Nathan says, bang on, top 4, and he'll continue to remain in charge. Of course he will, yeah. Terry says, but at least he was winning cups. Exactly, yeah, he was winning cups. But even that wasn't considered good enough, was it? All those FA Cups he won at the end still wasn't good enough. And suddenly now this is fine and acceptable for the fans. I don't know how that's happened. I don't know how that's happened. But anyway, there's going to be 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this game, which we just come into now. I mean, Brentford had quite a lot of possession in this second half without really doing anything. Arsenal defensive shape's been good, as you would expect. And this game's kind of petered out a little bit, hasn't it? And Arsenal just heading for another victory. Without being too inspiring, you have to say those 2 quick goals made a big difference. Suddenly Brentford at the far post, header comes in. In fact, he doesn't quite get his head on the end of it there. And that was a good ball, actually, to the far post. And Brentford, maybe if they've got a goal there, still with 3.5 minutes of stoppage time left, who knows? It could have been a little bit nervy. In fact, had he got a connection on that, it could well have been a goal, actually. But it wasn't meant to be. Matty says, speaking of Ødegaard, do you think the performances lately are caused by a lack of movement in front of him? Maybe a little bit. They've given Gabriel Jesus player of the match, by the way. Okay, fair enough. I must have missed that. Greg says, at the moment, the club's not going anywhere. We've got a winning manager for the ladies and still haven't given her the job. Oh, yeah, exactly. Anyway, Jesus has just got off, and I'm not quite sure who's come on. Oh, Zinchenko's come on. You've got to love Mikel Arteta substitutions, haven't you? They do make me laugh. And I suppose that's one positive about them. They do make me laugh. They're completely ridiculous, but they're quite funny and predictable. But I mean, Martin Ødegaard shouldn't have to rely on other players around him. If he's a good player, he's a good player, isn't he? He can still dictate the pace of the game, and he's not. So we'll see. Anyway, this game is now done. There's no question about that. With 2 minutes of stoppage time to play, Arsenal are heading for 3 points. Matty says, I've noticed that when he's on the ball, there's hardly anyone making runs or dropping into pockets. It's mostly Saka and Jesus making runs. The rest are quite lethargic in those moments. I think that's the way that the manager wants us to play. He doesn't want to overcommit, does he? Arsenal got a counter-attacking opportunity. We're not going to try and score a goal because we don't need to. So we're just going to play the ball backwards or go to the corner flag. In this case, we're going to play it backwards. We are predictable. That is one thing that annoys me. There's no player in our team that's going to do something out of the ordinary. There isn't, which is such a shame. But anyway, we're keeping the ball over on that far side. We're moving towards the last minute of stoppage time at the end of this game, which is, I say, it's been a comfortable victory, or it's going to end up being a comfortable victory for Arsenal, and puts us 6 points behind Liverpool, who do have a game in hand. Brentford might well score now in the last minute when it's going to be completely irrelevant. Mark says, great result against a team who are strong at home and have taken points of us in the past. No, it's a decent result, absolutely. I don't think the performance has been great. We've been quite flat. We managed to get those 2 quick goals at the start of the second half, and that's obviously what's made the difference in the end. Have we been the much better team? No. Brentford haven't really caused us too many problems, to be honest. I don't think they have. It's been a bit of a, I don't know, it's been a bit of an average performance, really, but we've got the result, you're right. Egg says, bye-bye from Sweden, have a nice evening. And yourself, thank you for joining us. Greg says, and you only want what's best for the team. Exactly, yeah. We do want what's best for the team, yeah. Well, what's best for the club. We want the club to be successful. Anyway, we've played the 4 minutes of stoppage time now. This game has rather fizzled out in the second half, hasn't it? Unfortunately, from a spectacle. The first half was really good, exciting, entertaining. Nathan says, Brentford were not great tonight. No, they wasn't really, was they? They wasn't at all. They didn't really create, man. There goes a full-time whistle. It has finished here at the G-Tech Stadium at Brentford 1, Arsenal 3. Arsenal had to come from behind, and we did it the hard way. And you have to say that's a big achievement, actually. You have to say that's decent. The performance, though, was well below the standard that we would really want to see from a championship title winning team. Nowhere near that level, unfortunately. But we had to come from behind. It was an early goal. Brian Mbeumo scored. Arsenal gave the ball away. Martin Odegaard gave the ball away in midfield. Damsgaard played it through over on the right-hand side. Calafiore gave really poor defending, allowed Mbeumo to cut inside, and he beat David Rao at the near post. It could have been 2-0, actually, midway through that first half. A shot came in, and David Rao let it slip through his hands. It almost went in, but he just managed to scoop it clear. And straight up the other end, we equalised. And that maybe was the turning point in this game. It was some terrible defending on the edge of the box by Brentford. Thomas Partey's shot was pushed away by goalkeeper Flecken, and Gabriel Jesus was there to put a diving header in to the far corner to make it 1-1 at half-time. And you have to say that, that was probably a fair result at the time. But had we gone in at half-time 1-0 down, it would have been a different game. Of course, in the second half, we got 2 very, very early goals. The first one, it was a corner. The goalkeeper didn't really do himself a lot of favours. He dropped the ball. Brentford couldn't get it clear, and Mikel Merino fired into the empty net from close range to make it 2-1. Straight after that, we got a third goal. It was Ethan Waneri's corner cross, from the right-hand side. Brentford couldn't clear their lines, and it fell to Martinelli, who took it well into the far corner, made it 3-1. That was it, really. Brentford huffed and puffed a little bit, never really looked like scoring. We didn't really seem bothered to get any more goals. We were quite happy just to see the game through. Professional performance in many ways. We managed the game well at 3-1, didn't allow them back into it. And yeah, it's a good victory. A few mistakes along the way, of course. But, we managed to win the game. And I think that's the most important thing. And it's another away victory in London for Arsenal. And I say we've closed that gap at the top to 6 points. Liverpool do have that game in hand. And we have given ourselves a bit of daylight between us and Chelsea. Of course, we've picked up some points and they've lost their last 2, drew the one before. We've won our last 3 now. And we're now moving into a really, really busy time of the season, a difficult period as well, with some tough games. We're going to have to play better, aren't we? There's any doubt about that. We haven't been playing particularly well. We've been getting results, but we're yet to really find our form, are we? We're kind of scraping through, and we're going to be without Saka for quite a long time yet. We're going to have to find a way to be more dangerous, create more chances. We were gifted a couple of goals today, and yeah, it's 3 points, and we'll take 3 points. But yeah, it hardly fills you with optimism that this is a team that can win the league. The way we're playing at the minute, I'm not overly impressed, but we got the job done. Nud says, good start in 2025. Well done, Arsenal. Happy New Year. Indeed, Happy New Year. We've got the 3 points, and that's the main thing, isn't it? Matty says there, have a good night, everyone. I'll be back with you guys on the 12th of Jan for the game against Bristol. Stay safe. And yourself, my friend. We are back, of course, on Saturday for the Brighton game. So join us for that if you can. And B says, looking forward to that, mate. Yeah, we're all looking forward to it. Greg says, if that's what we're in for this year, roll on next season. Exactly, yeah. Neil says, job done. Not lost the London Derby since December 23. We haven't indeed. Neil says, a great show as always. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for your support, of course. And we will get a show organised. We will. I'll find some time. I'll make some time. Quite honestly, I need to make the time. It's not going to appear. This year is probably it's set to be just as busy as last year. So I need to make a bit more time, don't I, so we can get some shows on. And we will do. So don't worry, we'll get it organised. Don't you worry about that. Neil says, we've great people in the chat. Right, there's some great people in the chat. That's what this channel's about. Mark says, it's not the most exciting match, but right now I don't care. Exactly, yeah. At the end of the day, all you can do is win the games, can't you? You're not always going to play well. My worry is the squad depth. My worry is the style of football. And my worry is the belief of the team. Do they really believe that we can win the league? I don't get a feeling we do. But we've got the job done today and we'll take it. Terry says, if we got a new manager, how many of these players would be shipped out? My guess, about 10. Well, yeah, I mean, you got to think when Mikel Arteta arrived, he looked at the squad and didn't fancy a lot of them, did he? Even though some of them are weak and maybe, say from our point of view, better players in some positions than we've got now, he just didn't fancy them. And that's what would happen if a new manager came in. That's Arsenal, isn't it? That's what would happen. Neil says, I'll be here when you can, Rich. No pressure. No, I know you will, mate. I know you will. And I appreciate that. I just need to organise my life a little bit better. It's just been hectic for a long time now. And, I just need to maybe find some time. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I didn't do any shows over Christmas and that. I needed a bit of a break. But yeah, it's we need to get it sorted. Nathan says, thanks for the commentary, Rich. Have a nice night. And yourself, my friend. Take it easy. We will see you very soon. Ange B says, enjoy your evening. We will try to do that indeed. And yeah, we will. So yeah, we got the win. And like a lot of games recently, that's pretty much the only positive that you can say. It wasn't a great Arsenal performance. It was full of mistakes. From both teams, actually, the game was full of mistakes, wasn't it? Which made it entertaining at times, especially in the first half. I'd say those 2 quick goals killed it in the second half, didn't it? The game was done. But yeah, I mean, we've got the 3 points and we keep moving. It's a big point of the season coming up. Greg says here, you're putting more pressure on Rich than I will. I'll take us under no pressure at all, is it? Let's be honest. Neil says, good night, all. Take care. Much love. See you all soon. We will indeed, my friend. We definitely will. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, today. It's been a pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Another victory for Arsenal. And we will be back with you, of course, on Saturday for the game against Brighton. Another difficult away game, another difficult ground that's caused us problems in the past. So we might need to play better against them. Maybe we'll see. But yeah, it's been a good result for Arsenal tonight, and a good start to 2025. And the 2 Brazilians on the score sheet there, Gabriel Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus, along with Mikel Merino, of course, after Mbeumo had given Brentford an early lead. But Arsenal won with 6 points off the top. Liverpool, do I say, have a game in hand. So it is all on Saturday now, another 5:30 kickoff. So there we go. That's what we need. Terry says, Richard, get yourself an Arteta syrup for next. If anyone knows where I can get one, that'd be great. I'd love to. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it, actually? Maybe a mask. I need a Mikel Arteta mask to do the show in. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Neil says it will suit him. Yeah, he probably will. That's what I need to get done. Or maybe a Mikel Merino one. That's what I need, actually. A Mikel Merino mask is what I need. Definitely. El Loco says, we got out of jail today with those 2 quick second goals. Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. But, maybe in a way, that's what champions do. I don't know. I'm not convinced this team look like champions, and I know obviously Neil, you and Terry and everyone else, Greg, we've all seen what an Arsenal championship winning team looks like because we've seen a few over the years, haven't we? I don't get that feeling from this team at all. This team does not look like a championship winning team. For me, I've said this for the last 3 or 4 years, and I don't see any difference this season, if I'm honest, but let's see. Let's see. Regenda says, this is how we hope to play each game and win them. Happy New Year start. Happy year to all. See you next game. We do, my friend. Good wishes to you as well and your family. And yeah, I mean, it's been a good start to the year. A win's a win. And you're not going to play well every game. Absolutely not. And we just need to keep winning as many as we can. And that's fine. But I just want to see some signs that this team looks like a team that can win the league. And I don't see them. The squad depth isn't there. The way we're playing isn't there. The quality going forward isn't there. But anyway, let's see. Terry says, Neil, great to see you. Just need to be more often. Yeah, he'll be back soon. Don't worry about it. We'll get it sorted, Terry. Anyway, if you're around on Saturday at about 5:15, do join me here because it is another big game against Brighton. Another tough away game. Imagine if we win that one. Wow. That would be a good sign, wouldn't it? That would be a good sign. Terry says, when did we last play well? I thought we played okay against Crystal Palace, just well, Christmas, a 5-1. I thought we played well in that game. But that's been quite rare, hasn't it? Certainly in the last, 10, 11 games. We haven't lost for a long time, but I don't see the performances really that make me think, wow, this team's got it. I've watched Liverpool play. Liverpool look like a team. They look like a championship winning team, don't they, Liverpool? I thought Chelsea did until the last week or so as well, but I don't see that in us, unfortunately. But we're still in there. We're still in there fighting, aren't we? And I suppose that's all you can hope for. And then if it all falls in place, if we have a decent January window, get a couple of bodies in that we need, who knows? Who knows? Anything's possible. But I'm more thinking that it could be a season for cups. That we might end up winning some cups this season and not the league. I think that's more likely where the season's going to head. That's what I believe, but we shall see. Greg says the Ball don't want a championship winning team. They just want to qualify for the Champions League. It's all about money, not so. Absolutely, no, I agree with you. I said that earlier. To me, the owners are a problem, but they're not going anywhere either, are they? Let's be honest. So we're just going to have to suffer a bit longer. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for joining me today for the new year. I hope you all had a great Christmas. I hope you all have a great 2025 as well. Hopefully, Arsenal might give us a trophy or two along the way. Would be really nice, wouldn't it? And if the men don't, I'm sure the women will give it a good go as well. So lots to look forward to in 2025. Lots to look forward to on the channel, of course, as always. I say we're back Saturday at 5:15 for the Brighton game. Hopefully, another victory. Let's wait and see. So yeah, thanks all for watching. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. We have got a great little community here, as you've probably seen from the chat tonight and on the other shows as well. We do cover the Arsenal women as well. Obviously, winter breaks on at the minute, so not too much going on. But we'll be back obviously for some women's stuff as well next week when the women are back in action as well. So yeah, lots to look forward to, lots happening. So please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching today. I will see you Saturday, 5:15 for Arsenal against Brighton from the Amex. And we'll get another 3 points, close that gap even more on Liverpool. Let's do it, boy. Good start to the year. Happy New Year, everybody. Come on, you Gunners. I'll see you Saturday. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, guys.